11 cycles have passed. The 10th will never be. A great machine has cut the gods from the skies. Now the energy of chaos is removed from the world of Lacrin. Magic has ceased to exist. A changed world, a final cycle. There is one final journey to embark upon, a decisive duty filled, a mortal god, a few heroes, a last quest.
We come now to Belona's midtown, about 5 minutes after we last saw Bo make the decision to not follow Ellie, not follow Aura, and in fact walk in a different direction. Where are you headed, Bo, if anywhere, or are you walking aimlessly?
I'd probably go somewhere where it's more familiar to me, so I'd probably try and, well, find what was once my home.
Oh, where is that?
Well, it's I'd say it's more around the slums of Bellona, I guess you can say.
So you're probably headed south from Midtown down towards where the Low Town is. Low Town is partially in and partially outside of the main gate. The city spills outwards from an old kind of ancient wall that's realistically not been used for any military purpose for a really long time. There have been no wars in Alexandria for hundreds of years. Though there have been skirmishes and and conflicts that have happened around Lacrin, for the most part, Bellona's been extremely peaceful. Even though the country has kind of militaristic roots, it's a bit like one of those, like a Scandinavian country that used to be Vikings, and they know that. But now, they're just a peaceful, modern country, and that's kind of what it's like with Bellona. So you find that there are lots of castles and fortresses and towers and just great big walls and stuff. Bellona itself is and has always been the capital, so there is this huge wall that runs around the midtown and some of Lowtown. Outside, though, the city continues beyond these walls. The city outside of the walls is a borderline slum. It's more just kind of really compact dwelling houses, low income families and rundown taverns and stuff like that. Inside the wall, there is a slightly less rundown Low Town. Are you in or outside of that wall?
I'd probably say I'm inside.
All right. So you're heading down probably sort of the main high street. You guys were kind of on that, one of the more central, wider roads that runs alongside the widest parts of the river, even though there are many canals that spread out, particularly around the northern side of the city. You've probably been walking for 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you start to leave the more midtown market atmosphere and head more into the kind of lower town homes, and you feel a pinch on kind of on your lower back, not quite on your buttock.
Oh, okay, that's good. No pinchy bum, please. Not without consent first. I guess I turn around to see if there's something or someone behind me.
There's somebody there. There's a gentleman who's carrying two small barrels. They've probably got mead under them. You can see that he's moving it from a cart into a nearby tavern.
Well, seeing he's got his hands full, I suppose I offer some help.
He looks at you. As you suddenly turn on him, he looks over at you and says, "All right, Governor?"
Oh, hi. I can see how you've got your hands full there. Do you need a hand with one of those barrels?
Listen, old-timer. If you want a drink, yeah, just head inside. I'm sure they'll sort you out with something.
Oh, well, all right. I'll take it as you've got this covered. But all right.
He just thinks
head
you're a
inside.
thief.
Well, I suppose I head inside this tavern then for said drink.
As you get near the tavern doorway, you can see it's just known as the Green Tavern. There's a big green door that's open. Inside of it, you can hear the hustle and bustle of like a relatively busy kind of tavern. Again, they're kind of over capacity a lot of the time because of the recent destruction to many homes and properties and stuff. It's a relatively run-down, terraced tavern between what looks like two houses. Small, similar to... Oh, you didn't go to it, but to Morana's in the sense that it's just a single, thin-looking house that's been converted, the lower floor, and then the upper floor looks like it's also part of the tavern. A little bigger than Morana's, a little less disheveled, but really just seems like a local pub. As you put a hand onto the door frame, you notice that your leg gives out a little bit, and the room swells as you move towards the opening of the doorway. There is a moment where you begin to stumble.
I guess I'm overwhelmed by this feeling that I try to balance myself, but I guess I lose my footing and I fall flat on my face as I enter.
From behind you, the person that was watching you says, "Hey, I don't think you need anything else to drink, do ya?"
I haven't even started yet. I turn to him as I'm still laying on the ground.
You begin to speak, but the words don't come out. You just kind of slur through them, your tongue feeling fat in your mouth. You try to say what you say, but it comes out as a blah, 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 blah. You see the fellow looking down at you. Behind him, the sky above him, quite clear today, begins to kind of zoom in and out, kind of like a dolly zoom. He remains in focus, but the sky stretches out beyond where he is. There's somebody else behind you shouting down at you, "Get out of the way, come on! Someone move this old guy out of the way." The guy with the barrels is standing over you. You see him kind of frustrated that you're in the way of the door, and he begins to put one down. What do you do?
I guess I'm gonna crawl with whatever strength I have. I feel like a wet noodle.
Yeah, give me a roll.
Oh boy. Oh, I'm scared.
Dear viewer, you may notice that Bo already has a
14.
6.
Yes.
On one of the rolls that we did before the game began.
And Brad said nothing.
You crawling in or out?
I guess I'm crawling out.
You begin to crawl kind of out of the bar. You summon up what strength you can. Your arms feel like hollow. It doesn't feel like you have any legs at all, but you begin to move on some sort of muscle memory, some ability. You start to crawl out of the way. You can hear people around you. There's 2 or 3 people inside the tavern who appear to just be laughing at you. They just think you're some old drunk. The fellow who was trying to get past you, "Oh yeah, finally." You hear him step out and he just walks over you and starts to move away. The guy who's holding the barrels says, "Maybe no more for you today, eh? Bit early." Begins to pick up his barrels again. You are feeling very woozy. Your arms, your body starting to feel extremely weak. You're not quite like blacking out, but it seems like you probably will do soon.
Oh boy. I'm instantly thinking of Ellie, Aura, and Suna. I feel like, man, if I was with them, this wouldn't be happening to me right now. I just hope wherever they are, they're safe and not in this situation like myself.
You hear another voice say, "Oh, grandfather." A fellow moves into your vision. 2 boots, clean-looking boots, a robe draped down around them. You see this figure lean down over you, casting kind of a shadow, and you can see behind and underneath an inconspicuous-looking robe, but a thick one, a Firbolg man, but quite a short and thin-looking Firbolg. Firbolgs are usually kind of giant-kin. They look like big, large gnomes quite a lot of the time is a quick way to describe them, usually a large nose. However, this Firbolg seems to be quite small considering. However, his clothing is quite nice underneath the robe. You can also see that he's got like relatively long hair, which is pulled up into a kind of tight bun up on the back of his head. He does have a flourish of hair hanging down the side of his face. He has some piercings, a little beard. He seems to be relatively well dressed, very clean looking, and he leans down and looks at you. He says, "Come on, grandfather, let me help you up." He holds out his hand.
I don't remember having a grandson. I reluctantly, but take his hand.
Yeah, the words do not come out. You try to formulate that sentence, but it's again a blah, 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 is what kind of comes out. The Firbolg lifts you up and begins to lead you down the street a little further. You can feel that he's doing most of the lifting and you're stumbling. It does feel kind of like you're like absurdly drunk. It most certainly looks that way. The Firbolg leads you into an alleyway and says, "Mr. Boba, you are under arrest."
You know me? Arrest?
And that is where we switch as you try to say all of those words, but you absolutely do not. Back. Further along in Midtown, we have Aura. And Aura, you head away in the opposite direction, I think, to Ellie. The opposite direction to Bo. Where are you going?
I'm actually heading to the Inquisition to see Reginald.
Perfect. You are heading all the way up to the northern part of town. This is a slightly longer walk, not because it's further away, but because the streets become more and more congested as you start to move through Midtown towards the High Town, which is where a lot of the nobles live. However, you're moving now into just like the deepest market district where all the taverns are really bloated. You move towards the Inquisition headquarters. I think it probably takes you about 10 minutes, 15 minutes before you're really in the thick of it. What are you thinking about? What are you feeling after the events of last session?
I think about the time my father told me to never say anything to anyone when your head is not on straight. And so when Ellie was saying that I was not loyal and I was projecting onto her, I instead of making it worse, I just decided to leave for right now, but my heart's heavy that it went that way.
Someone is following you.
Do I know someone is following me?
You pick up on it with whatever you want that 18 to represent. You
Okay.
realize now that the full 15 minutes since you left the other two, the same figure has been semi-brazenly following you. I think you pick up on it because they're not trying to hide themselves. but they're also not actively moving towards you. You see a fellow tiefling. However, this tiefling is very large looking. They have sort of bright red skin. You can see that they have lots of burn marks and scars and wounds over just the pieces of their face that you can see underneath a robe. The robe is absolutely an Inquisition robe. This is not one of their robes that they wear to just kind of fit in. This is an Inquisitor openly moving through the streets behind you and has been taking the same turns you've been taking, following you. And when you catch them, whether you look at them or not, they're looking at you. You could make that out. Underneath what he's wearing, you can see that he is relatively, like, he seems to be armed. Like, he has a belt with all sorts of jars that look like pots or potions. You can see a short sword, and you can see that he's wearing kind of like a thick-looking leather armor of sorts, maybe underneath that.
It's like I'm just moving along, and I notice that someone is mimicking my movements, and I probably take some time to give this person the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're going to a stall that I'm not aware of, but when I realize that it's an Inquisitor robe and that they are in fact tailing me, because of how my last interaction went with Ellie, I'm going to turn around and confront this person. So I'm just going to stop and I'm going to look at him. Can I help you?
This tiefling continues to walk towards you, and we're in the middle of probably a really busy looking crossroads. There is lots of people moving back and forth. There is plenty of people with moving with purpose, plenty of people who seem to be wandering, carts trundle by. This figure strides through them all, and they unconsciously part out of his way as he moves up towards where you are. When he gets to you, he stands really tall. He's maybe 6'4"-ish, pretty muscular looking, pretty strong looking, a relatively imposing figure. You can see now when he gets very close to you that his face is very burnt in several places. This is very rare for a tiefling, for the record. Tieflings do not burn easy. His horns stick up out of his head, and they're chipped, and the end of one of them appears to have been broken off in probably a very painful fashion, but probably also a long time ago. He looks down to you and hands you a pair of handcuffs, shackles, manacles, and then grunts.
I don't take them. I don't know what you want me to do with that. You can use your words. Really not in the mood for whatever puzzle game you have for me right now.
He mimics putting a manacle on your wrist.
So you want me to take those handcuffs and put them on myself so you can take me away?
He smiles at you.
Okay, have a nice day. I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon. I've got to go. And I turn around and I start walking
He
away.
grabs your shoulder, and it's a rough grab.
Okay, we're in a public place. I will make a scene. This man is touching me.
Let me just roll a couple dice. 2 people turn. You notice immediately that 2 people turn to you instantly, as if like good-natured people turn. One of them says, "Hey, you! Oh, never mind.
Yes, he is Inquisition, but that doesn't mean
Good day."
he's allowed to just grab me.
They move
He's
away.
not even saying words.
2 or 3 other people stop and begin to watch, a circle slowly forming around you.
I don't know what you want from me, but you can use your words. Okay, okay, I grab his face and I'm gonna squeeze his mouth open to see if he has a tongue.
You grab his face. He actually lets you do it. But he lifts his neck up, and you can see that there is some really rough scarring around his throat. Lots of damage at one point. It looks less like burn marks, more like rope or hang marks, that kind of a thing. It seems like the area around his throat and larynx at some point was very badly damaged, and he lowers his head down again against the strength of your hand and points to the shackles.
When I squeeze or open his mouth, does he have a tongue, or like does he not have teeth or something?
I don't think his mouth opens. If you squeeze him, you can just feel the sides of his face, and his skin is tough.
Can you open your mouth? Like, I need to know if you can't speak, because it would eliminate a whole difficult part of this conversation.
He opens his mouth. Inside, he has maybe 4 teeth. His tongue is nowhere to be seen.
I'm going to see the scarring on his neck, the burns on his face. I know since I'm a tiefling that burns do not happen. We're like resistant to flames, and I see he has no tongue and he has 4 teeth. And I mean, his horns are all chipped. Did you get this way because of the Inquisition?
Mimics
you want to kill me?
He mimics pointing at you, and then neck slitting, and then shackles again, and points to them, which I assume are you still holding them, or are they on the ground?
If he handed them to me, I never took them.
Then they're on the ground in front of you. He points to them.
Well, I've got something that you might understand. I point to them on the ground. Why don't you put them on your wrist, and then you turn around and walk away from me, because I really am not in the mood for this. I'm going to go see your buddy Reginald, and then you know what? Go find somebody else to kill. It's not going to be me today.
Shakes his head to you.
Tiefling to tiefling, you're so much better than this.
Give me a roll. A 9. He looks angry when you mention tiefling to tiefling.
I pick up that he looks angry.
Yeah.
Are you not okay with who you are? Is that why you're getting upset?
He spits on the ground in front of you and points at you.
So you think that I am just a piece of trash that belongs on the ground if you're going to spit at my feet?
Points at the shackles.
Okay, well, why don't you do this? You pick up those, stick them up your ass, and then, go do whatever you do. And I turn around and I start walking away.
Okay. There is a few seconds. You start to walk away. You hear a gasp from the crowd, and then an igniting of something that sounds like, gas or something like that. What do you do?
Because I'm a tiefling, do I instinctively know what it is?
You know that there's fire somewhere.
There's that fear response in me that makes me want to turn around and look, but my adrenaline's so high from the confrontation I just had with Ellie that I'm not thinking as clearly as I normally would, and I'm like, no, you're not gonna look back. You just gotta if you look back, that's gonna show that you're weak, and so I'm just gonna keep on.
Okay.
I have like a flashback of Grimm.
Yeah.
Just kind of in the back of my head.
Oh yeah.
And so what I would like to do is just prepare myself. I want to focus my hearing on if I hear the flames coming closer to me that I can dive or duck out of the way.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Roll me a dice.
Okay. 14.
14. Now, under the rules of quest, A 14 is a success. You accomplish what you were trying to do without any compromises. If you are dealing damage, you deal the standard amount. There is a few seconds and you're walking away, the frustration of the moment, this kind of horrible deja vu or mirroring of this situation. Once again, you come to the big city and this big dude, lumbering kind of Neanderthal man wanders over to you and begins a potentially violent confrontation. There is a moment when you catch that sound of flames. Then you hear a whistling, like something is being thrown at you. You instinctively duck and move out of the way. I think probably for us witnessing this, the difference between Aura at the beginning of the campaign and Aura now is significant. You move now with like a purpose and a strength that it's almost supernatural, because the levels that you've managed to get to as a group, you guys have been fighting gods and things, so avoiding a simple Molotov cocktail is nothing for you. However, you roll out of the way. It looks cool. It's like everyone just shouts out. A bunch of people who are in front of you dive out of the way, and in front of you this glass shatters, and then a whoosh, as there's some flame that spreads out in front of you.
I avoid it though, correct?
You've avoided it completely.
I mean, I'm going to turn around now and look at this guy.
He's standing there with a sort of circular potion pot, is what it looks like an orb of some kind, with a liquid inside that you would assume to be some sort of flammable liquid. You see him in his other hand flicker two things together, and then a little flame ignites, igniting the second Molotov, and he throws it at you. And this is brazen. By the way, you're in a crowded area.
Yeah.
This is wild. And he just launches it at you. What do you do?
Can I pull out my bow and arrow and use Deadeye and hit the Molotov cocktail while it's in midair?
You absolutely can try.
Okay.
Roll me a dice.
Okay. Oh, the 3.
Let's see. As you now fight in what looks like a Street Fighter level, surrounded by people in a kind of ring that is forming. There are flames behind you. You pull out a bow just as he throws another Molotov at you. You fire an arrow and you hear it dink the side of the glass. It kind of turns the glass a little.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have upgraded Deadeye.
Yes. Wait, what does Deadeye do to add to this roll?
Deadeye, well, the upgrade, I'll just read the upgrade. You take aim and focus your senses, automatically scoring a triumph with ranged weaponry on a nearby creature or object that you target. The hit disables the targeted limb. Well, that's... Yeah.
Nice. So, yeah, so you don't even need to roll. You just consume whatever it costs to do this.
Okay.
Which is 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you hear the dink as this... You pull an arrow out, you knock it instantly. This thing flies towards the air, and then... This arrow hits the glass. There is an explosion. This glass is hit by the arrow. It ignites. There is an explosion in the air. Flames rain everywhere as napalm explodes over you, over this Inquisitor, and then the crowd, who suddenly shift backwards, giving you an even wider circle. There's a kind of a scream as a few people kind of move backwards. The Inquisitor and yourself are hit by some of these flames, but it's nowhere near enough to do any damage to your skin. He doesn't even flinch at this. You may react however you want, but you will get hit by some of this flame. It cannot hurt you. It's nowhere near enough to hurt your tiefling skin.
I think it's uncomfortable, but I'm trying so hard to just maintain that you can't phase me attitude, that even if it hurts a little bit or stings, it's probably like my eyes water a little bit, but I like choke it back. What is your problem?
He kicks the manacles across the way towards you.
You see me roll my eyes in a very dramatic way. There are people everywhere. Are you trying to kill people? Aren't you supposed to protect us? Inquisition? I'm going to go see your buddy Reginald, who's got us on a little mission. So why are you here? Throwing fucking Molotov cocktails at me.
There is like you get this kind of crazed sense from him. He seems slightly unhinged. He seems kind of crazy. Like, he doesn't seem to be listening to any of your logic. When you gesture to the people, he looks at them, his eyes kind of rolling around in his head a little bit. He brings out his short sword, and you see him just pouring some of this liquid from one of the other pots on his belt. He throws it to the ground, and then he clicks these two thimbles that he's got in his hand together, igniting the sword. He then brandishes the flaming sword. There's actually a few people around you that cheer. If anything, they seem like they're on his side.
This man is large.
He's
throwing
very large.
flaming potions at me. I don't think I can outrun him. I don't think he's going to stop chasing me. I'm going to pull out my sword.
Yeah, yours is not a short sword. His
No.
is just a small blade, kind of a sidearm, really. Yours is a ridiculously large claymore on your back.
Can I try using a skill?
Yes.
I don't know if I can. It's called Don't You Know Who I Am, and it's you impress common folk and minions by pretending to be someone notable, but can I use this to intimidate this tiefling?
Well, what do you do? Yeah, you can. You have to use the cost, 1 AP, consume the 1 AP, and what do you do? Because he kind of pulls out this flaming sword and lifts it up. A few people kind of coming to his side, cheering. A few people, again, the kind of crowd of, what do you do in return?
I pull out my sword, and I know the way the sun hits it because I've played with this sword so much that I kind of twist it a little bit so like the glint hits him in the eyes. You're gonna fight me with that? I don't think you realize who I am. So I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna say maybe just walk away and I'll go talk to your buddy Reginald before you get hurt.
There's some people on your side of this circle that suddenly start cheering. You hear a mutter, and you can kind of just, and this is in the very back of your thought process here, but you can hear people going, "Who is she? What did she say she was? She's a tawny knight? Who is that?" He throws the sword at you. He just launches it forward. It begins to turn over and over in the air. The flames. Roll me a dice.
Roll, I'm checking something. Okay.
Yeah.
A 20, a natural 20.
Natural 20. How do you avoid this? Describe it. It can be as cool as you want.
Honestly, I like the idea. I just take my sword, I hold it up, and it like hits my sword, and his sword just shatters into a million pieces, and it falls to the ground.
Then
I just pull
parry
it back,
it
like,
out of the air like baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that. There's like a sudden as you pull this huge blade off of your back, he throws a flaming sword at you, and you just ding it. It explodes. It kind of shatters into like 4 or 5 pieces around you. The flames hitting the ground, going out. There's a cheer from behind you, and then a boo from behind him. You see him start to move forwards towards you again, pulling out another alchemist's kind of flask. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna give you one more opportunity to walk away, sir.
He's walking out. He's striding towards you now.
I'm just gonna mutter to myself, I guess he wants some more scars, and I'd like to use wild attack on him.
Okay, what is wild attack?
You attack with reckless power, disregarding your safety. Describe a signature style for this attack and what it looks like when you make it. And then, depending on how well I roll, either my weapon can break, I miss, I deal double, quadruple, or Yeah, so there's like different levels, I guess. I can post it in chat if you want.
I can see it. Roll it.
Okay. Oh my god. Please, God. Ooh, 13.
13. A 13 is that you deal double damage. He throws this Molotov now towards you. What do you do? Whatever you do will strike him, and you will deal double damage to him.
He throws the cocktail, and I jump back, and so it explodes on the ground in front of me, and I jump over the flames and through them, and I have the sword up over my head, and I just bring it down and hope to God I hit him, and I imagine I'm aiming for his shoulder.
Okay. So, you do that. You launch yourself forward through these flames. He's not expecting it. No one else is expecting it. These flames rush up around you as you move forward. This huge sword comes down. You feel it hit the side of where his shoulder is, and you feel it bite into his flesh. You can feel that it hits some part of the leathers that run up and along his shoulders underneath this robe. You see it instantly cut through the robe. Then you feel it bite straight through those leathers, and then you see his blood running down the bottom of your sword. He is stumbling backwards. There's a grunt from him as soon as you hit him. And as his blood runs down this sword, he looks down at you and says, "Under arrest."
He says to me, under arrest.
Yeah.
Can I take the shackles off the ground and cuff him?
You absolutely may try. Roll me a dice.
A natural 20.
How do you do it?
When he says under arrest, I'm proud of him for actually saying words, because like that tenderness of aura is kind of coming through, and I go, no. And then I grab the shackles off the ground, and when he's like touching his arm, I just grab his hands and I pull them behind his back. And it's just like in an action movie where it happens so fast, and then all of a sudden he's on the ground and he has his hands behind him and he's cuffed.
Yeah. He's laying on the ground. There's a lot of blood running down his chest and pooling now around him from what seems to be a pretty deep wound in his shoulder area. You move around him. He kind of tries to move, but you see him wince at the pain. You push him down, you grab the manacle, you get one wrist into it. You see him reach out towards you, but you grab his wrist, twisting it, putting the other manacle on his second wrist, and he falls to one side. You see him now struggling, even though he can still move. He's on one knee, beginning to stand up, but his wrists are shackled. You see the ends of his fingers have these little like thimbles on that seem to be designed to create a little spark. They fall off and hit the ground, and he seems to be upset about that. Blood continuing to run down his body. Now it seems like a lot of blood. But he's shackled. He doesn't seem to be entirely out of the fight, though, as he begins to stand up again.
Do I know if the wound that I have caused is a mortal, like, hit, that he's gonna die from this?
I'm going to say because you have mending, you can make me a roll to determine whether you think he will die from this wound.
Okay. An 8.
An 8? I don't think you know. I think you're pretty sure that if he was left to die, he would probably bleed out from it, but it's kind of hard to tell whether he's dying from it now or it's just a really nasty looking flesh wound that he'll be fine with. He's also very big and kind of muscular looking. It looks like he can take a hit, but still not 100% sure.
Well, if he's starting to stand up, like he's ready to come at me again.
Does look like that.
Are you serious? I'm just stay on the ground. Just stay on the ground, and then this can all be done. I can go on my way, and then you can get your shoulder looked at.
Roll me another dice. charges at you like a bull. Suddenly, he's moving. There's a dong-dong, and then you're hit with his other shoulder. It hits you like you've been hit by a horse, and you are flung backwards. You launch backwards, your back striking the ground, your sword held in your hand, but kind of making a loud clank as you fall over. He stumbles forward over your legs. It's not pretty looking. He continues to stumble forward, blood running out of his shoulder. He moves off to one side of yours, grunting a little bit. You take 2 damage from that.
Can I use my skill Overpower?
What does it do?
You use your strength to overpower a commoner or minion within reach. Oh, you cannot apply this ability on bosses. So is that...
Is he a boss? I guess he is a boss. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine. I will... like, kind of shake it off. Like, two damage is quite a bit, so I'm just gonna be, like... wincing a little bit in pain and surprised that he just full-on bull ran at me. And I shake my head and I pull my sword up and I'm gonna like aim for its neck and try to...
You're going for a killing strike here?
I have this conflict, but it's happening so fast, and I'm in survival mode that I bring it up and I bring my sword down.
All right, give me your attack roll.
11.
An 11 is the awkward one, I think, where you're partially successful. Oh no, it's just a full-on success. You accomplish what you were trying to do without any compromises. If you're dealing damage, you deal the standard amount. You bring this sword sideways, flat. You see him kind of turning around. He brings up a hand. You shave off 3 of his fingers at an angle. It goes up. He loses part of his index finger, which previously had the thimble on it, then the middle finger, and then the finger next to that. And then the sword lodges into his neck. He is still alive. As your sword hits what feels like just a fleshy stop, he brings his hands down, his eyes widen, blood suddenly pouring out of his fingers, then blood gushes in a kind of horrible mess out of his neck. He grabs the sword and pulls you towards him. Roll me another dice.
13.
A 13 is a success. He reaches out for you and you avoid it. What do you do in return? It looked like he was just going to grab your face and bring your face into your own sword. Was what he was doing.
Like, the sword is like in my hands. I'm just going to lean very close to his face. I killed a god. Don't make me kill you. And I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to use Mend on his neck.
Okay. What does Mend do for him?
Gives him 5 HP.
Okay. How does it look? Because it's kind of hard to do a Mend in the middle of battle. What are you trying to do?
Well, it specifically says you cannot use this during combat.
Yeah,
so
you
I
can't,
think
but if you're making a gesture towards something like that, that might be factored in.
It's like the magnitude of what I'm actually doing is hitting me, and I'm thinking I don't want to kill this man. And so I pull my sword out quick and start applying pressure to the wound on his neck.
Okay. Roll me a dice. 16. He grabs the back of your head as you're doing it, and he goes to headbutt you, but then you see him kind of pass out.
He can't because his hands are handcuffed.
True, but he's grabbing at you. It doesn't matter because he passes out. He falls forward, grabbing at you in a very sort of violent way. As you're applying pressure to his neck, he suddenly collapses in front of you. 2 of these bottles roll out from his pocket, and then a pool of blood begins to spread out. There's a bunch of people around you that for a moment just kind of stop, and then suddenly half of them start clapping, half of them start moving away, half of them are kind of horrified. You can hear lots of different things. A bunch of people saying, "Who is that? That's a tawny knight, that is. She's the greatest fighter I've ever seen." And then you also hear people going, "Oh my god, she just killed an inquisitor. Oh, we're all fucked now. What is this? What's going on? Someone call the watch, quick." And you can hear just a chaos. Bunch of people clapping, bunch of people terrified. What are you doing in the middle of this circle? There are still bits of fire around you and lots of blood coming out of an inquisitor.
Is he dead?
He is not dead. No.
Okay. I'm going to tear a piece off of my coat, and I'm gonna fashion like a tourniquet around his neck, not to choke him, but to stop the bleeding. And I'm gonna stand up, and one of the people who's clapping, I'm gonna grab their arm. You gotta keep pressure on this. Get him some medical help, please. And then I'm gonna search his pockets.
Somebody just does what you say. Yes, ma'am. And they just start doing absolutely not what you asked. It's terrible. They're just trying to do what you. But you can see that they're freaking out. Their hands are shaking. They have no idea what they're doing. You begin searching his pockets. Give me a dice roll. I was going to say an investigation check, but we're playing Quest.
8.
An 8. You start looking over the stuff in his pockets. You find an area in this robe where there's definitely stuff inside the robe, but there's no way into it. There's a secret pocket, but you don't see the opening to the pocket.
Can I tear it with my knife?
Yes, you pull out a knife and start tearing the pocket. Inside of it, you find a small pouch that seems to contain gold. You also find a very small-looking Inquisitor's notebook, not too dissimilar to this one, the one that Reginald has been using. Flicking through it quickly, you can see it's all in Inquisition script. You find 3 rings that look like rings that would fit on this particular tiefling's hand. And you find a very strange looking device. It looks a little like a pocket watch, but immediately you realize it is not.
Okay, so I grab all that and hold it in my hand, and then I'm going to just quickly pat down his body to see if there's anything else that I should...
He's got a bunch of Molotovs. He's got a bunch of things. You can find like 6 boxes of matches in another pocket. You find that he does have another dagger on him. That's about it, I think, apart from the little thimble clickers which are on the ground nearby and the set of manacles.
I'm going to take the matches and his thimbles, and I'm going to stick those in my other pocket because he should not be allowed to throw Molotovs in the city. Yep. So I'm going to take those, and then I'm going to make sure that people are doing what I said and getting him medical attention, and then I'm going to...
Sort of looks like it. They don't look like they know what they're doing. This is just like serfdom, the peasantry. They're kind of trying. There's a few people panicking around you.
It's going to be fine. I gave him fair warning. You got to put pressure here, and I grab some of their hands and I start showing them how to do this. One on the shoulder, okay, and you come grab this, put this on the neck.
All right, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Hold it. Just hold it tight.
Yeah, all right.
Don't put pressure there or
he'll
choke.
All right, don't kill me.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
all right.
I'm not gonna kill.
Don't hurt me, please. Don't hurt me. Oh, please.
He attacked me.
Yeah.
I had an argument with
Mum's
my
a word.
friend,
I won't tell him. It
was not a good time for us.
All right,
to have he's just okay. We'll just put this on there and
Yeah, it's a lot of blood, isn't it? That's a lot of blood, isn't it? You reckon he's dead then?
No, he's not dead. He's got, and I feel his pulse.
He's alive.
Yeah, he's alive. He's fine. He's just, this is the thing. Like I said several times, if he could walk away, and then he didn't. And so now, he's got some really big wounds. But look, he's got burns and other scars. So it seems like he's got a pretty good resilience to things. So just get him to a doctor.
Yeah, that's lucky he's got resilience to swords.
Yeah, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you don't need it. Okay. And I
Just start
stand
crying.
up and I notice that some people are afraid of me.
Everyone's afraid of you. Some people are afraid of you in a your Batman way, and some people are afraid of you in a this is a crazy murderer that's just killed a CIA agent in front of us way. But everyone is afraid of you.
And I'm just gonna say he's fine. I think he's gonna be fine. There's a doctor on the way. And I look down at my sword and just see the blood all over it. I have an appointment to get to. They are putting pressure on the wounds, and I just slowly back up out of the crowd.
Parting.
Just all right. Thank you. I got a meeting. Y'all take care. And then I'm gonna turn around and just like pull my hood up and try to wipe my sword off on my pant leg, which is darker, so the blood can come off, and then
Disappear into
hurry
the
down
crowd.
an alleyway and try to take the back road.
Vanish. You vanish, leaving Inquisitor Bob bleeding out in the middle of the street after a successful combat. And that is where we're going to switch over to our crew who are on a ship. We have our 3 party members on the Ortenzia, a cargo ship that was heading from the Giant Lands to Alexandria, but got waylaid due to what is most likely an Arcanite engine or some sort of magical enchanted engine that broke down, leaving them stranded. It worked out perfectly for you to board and take passage. The 3 of you have been I think relaxing a little bit. You've been eating. I think somebody made some tea, and there are 2 young looking monks next to you wearing kind of wraps and silver and white grey wraps. Young looking, maybe early 20s. They may be a little younger, but they're both in what seems to be very good health. They seem to be very fit. They both have staffs that they seem to be capable with. They endlessly refer to Suna as Walsh. And there are a couple of drawings next to you guys where you're sat. Above you, there is a Kenku sitting on a large piece of marble in the lower decks, basically the hull of this ship where you've been placed. You are realistically just cargo with the group here. And what are you all doing?
My seasickness worn off from last time.
It has, I think, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Good.
This wouldn't be too long after the last time we saw you, though. So
Sure.
it's up to you how much
Yeah,
you
so
want
I've
it to be
got
affecting you.
Cake and goat's milk and some fiery water and stuff in my tummy, and it's all found a magical mixture. So I'm probably just looking to Suna to see what we want to do, if anything, with this information that we gathered. So I'll just say, what do you make of all this? I mean, I think they want to come with us.
Oh, yes. They want to protect me, I think.
What do you think?
I think I don't know if I can bear that responsibility, but I suppose I have to. It's the least I could do.
Honestly, I don't know how you'd stop them. They seem pretty eager.
Well, I'm sure I could just tell them.
You don't think they'd just follow?
Maybe. I mean, it depends on whether they want to listen to me or Severus or I don't know. It's weird to me that both of you have seen things. And it seems since I haven't been able to see anything.
I haven't seen anything more.
Look at this. It's kind of cute. My little arm sticking out of that tower there.
I suppose it is.
Even got the feet
Walsh,
on
is
either
it?
end. Yeah. Yes.
I wonder. Wonder what it means.
Well, perhaps we can find a translator here. I think some of the crewmen are from those lands and might be able to help us understand each other a little bit better.
That's true, and I just kind of cast a glance up toward the stairway that leads toward the upper decks. We've been told to stay down here for a while. Has that while passed?
Yeah, you were told to stay there for like maybe half an hour. It's probably been about an hour since you got on the ship, maybe 2.
Perhaps we can go get some fresh air. I know I wouldn't mind.
Sure. I'd join you. Sure. Hippo, would you care to join us?
Sorry, join you for.
Fresh air. Air.
Hey, sure.
All right. Are you sure? Because you can sit here and mope if you want.
I'm gonna take her arm and start walking toward the stairwell,
All right.
so that we're a little ahead of him. And I'm gonna whisper, you know, I've been wanting to talk to you about him. He seems a little lost.
Yeah. Yes. I imagine so. We both are a little bit, but that's just it. That's our relationship. It's how I let him know that I see him.
But I mean, you've seen him kind of just like staring at the floor, and
Yes.
he's just, does he get like this, or is this?
Never.
Yeah. I just thought I'd mention it. I don't know him, so I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means either. But I don't know how else to tell him that I see him and I understand.
I don't want to say too much, but I've, observed some things. And I think I can see that there's a lot of emotion in your relationship, but I feel like there's a lot unsaid. Maybe you two need to have. I know I'm overstepping.
Maybe just a little bit. This isn't like the stallion novels or anything like that. This is really complicated, and people have histories, and I've been reading them to you.
Okay. Gotcha. I just thought maybe it could help because he. Anyway,
What do you want me to do?
I just seems
Tell
like.
him, chin up, Hippo. Everything's gonna work out.
Well, tell him how you just told me how you felt about him a little bit, and I don't.
Well, he knows.
I don't think he does. I don't know. It's just feel like there might be some things unsaid here.
I appreciate your insight.
For what it's worth. Anyways,
I have
sorry,
to stay focused right now. I can't
I understand.
worry about someone's feelings. I have a lot.
Okay.
Harry.
I think. Okay. And I'll just keep heading up.
Yeah, you guys head upwards. And the 3 of you going up, or just the 2 of you?
I think he was following behind.
Just the 2.
Oh.
You didn't go, sorry?
No, I'm gonna try and fix my gun a bit more, make sure it's working properly and stuff. Just
Yeah. You head up. onto the kind of open second floor of this ship. The not quite in the hull, not quite up on the top, but you see 2 or 3 people moving around here. It's no different really to the cargo area that you have below you, but there seems to be other cargo here. This is where they seem to have more valuable items. What was down below was just kind of relatively raw chunks of marble that still seem to have like parts of the mountainside attached to them, whereas here you can see that they have other valuables. It seems to be crates and kegs. You can see that they seem to be transporting all sorts of extras, small things like furs, and it's just laid out relatively neatly, but not entirely neatly, across this this ship. There is one fellow that you can see there that you recognize to be Wayne. He's sort of tightening up some of the straps that are around some of these cargo pallets. You can see that he has no idea that you're there. He's kind of just whistling to himself. You can continue going up.
What is the cargo? The stone, right?
The main cargo seems to be marble. The giant lands have very specific marble. It's a strong stone, but also it's just kind of one of those things that all the nobles, and I imagine that Cairo would be more well versed with spending time in a larger city, but nobles will build statues and buildings out of giantish marble. And it can only come from one place, and that's the giant lands. It just seems to be that you're on a ship that maybe cuts, but certainly transports this particular raw resource. However, you can see that clearly that they're doing there's probably some trade going on between Daedon, which is where you're headed, and whichever port town in the giant lands you came from, since I don't know if you know. So you can see that there's a lot of other cargo here. It's they're just boxes and kegs and crates, but you can see that there's more cut stone up here. You can see that the kegs have what is most likely mead and wine in them. The rest of the boxes are varying different sizes stacked up. It's a pretty open floor here. You can see pretty clearly. It's well lit compared to downstairs where there's just one lamp. And at either end, you can see that there are cordoned off areas behind doors. Most likely to be quarters, but I don't think you know.
Do you suppose they all speak giant? They've been working there. Excuse me.
The one person who's here suddenly turns around, kind of startled at the sight of you all, and you recognize it to be Wayne, and he says,
"Oh,
all right.
Wayne, nice to see you again. You don't happen to speak giant, do you?"
Giant? Well, I picked up a few words, but they're all the bad ones.
Right. Okay. We'll be on our way. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Head on up like I've just dodged the biggest bullet.
He
rifle.
walks after you in that way that people do when you know they're going to continue talking, but then you guys kind of move up the stairs and it doesn't seem like he follows. And
Close call.
yeah, you head on up. Once you make it up to the top floor, I can't remember what the fucking top floor of a ship is. I don't know nothing about ships, and I apologize to all the people who are getting annoyed. The top deck of the ship, you see that there's a lot more going on. You can see that the crew are hard at work here. There are a few members that you recognize. You can see up on the quarterdeck, the captain at the wheel. He doesn't recognize you coming up. However, next to him is Eno, the kind of posh, taller, stuck-up gentleman who looks like a classic villain from a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. He immediately seems to clock you coming up onto the deck. To the side of you, you can see one of the Goliaths. There are two Goliaths on the ship, one with kind of pinkish, reddish skin, one with grey, bluish skin. The grey, bluish skin Goliath is next to you, quite close, but he's dealing with a bunch of rigging. You can see him in his huge form pulling at a lot of these very thick-looking ropes, pulling something tight to do with some rigging that's running up the side of one of the masts. And as you step up onto the deck, you're also hit by a pretty strong wind and that strong sea salty air. There is just a flat open ocean. It's very clear, relatively warm considering the cold of the open ocean. And in the distance, I think behind the ship, you can just about make out Yoskorin, this kind of island, but it's pretty far now as you're heading out into what just looks like an endless open blue.
Thankfully, it's pretty calm.
I think sometimes a lot of moments in my life are like Yoskorin there.
What do you mean?
Just out of view. Passed me by.
I don't think like that. We've got a lot ahead of us.
Perhaps you do, dear. Perhaps you do.
Well, should we ask one of these fellas what mulch means?
From above you, there is a sudden cry out.
Oh.
You hear a voice. All the way above you, there is a fellow in the crow's nest who you hear in the distance say, "Oh, would you look at that? Look, that's an owl. There's an owl out here."
Hey, just that. And I make a few clicks to get Keepy onto my shoulder.
Is that your owl?
Yes.
Hey, can I borrow the owl?
No, you can't borrow.
Can I look at it?
If you come down here.
I can't come down there. Send him up. He can fly.
No,
Oh,
He can
that's
fly.
adorable.
What?
You know how long it takes me to climb down compared to him flying up?
Well, what do you want with him?
There is a large grumble from next to you as the Goliath with the kind of blue-grayish skin with lots of tattoos and scars turns these kind of full white eyes on you and says,
"Do not listen to him. He is not all in head."
"I'm not all in the head. You're a Goliath. You're made of rocks or something."
I come up there, I kill you. Okay? I
all right.
pull off your ears.
"You'll pull off my ears? You'll never catch me. You're slow. You're old. You're fat."
Not fat. Muscle.
And they begin to just have an argument.
Oh, right.
I kill you.
"Come on, Em. Come on up."
I climb up now.
He begins shaking at the rigging.
Well, excuse me. Perhaps now's not the time to kill anyone.
Ah, little one. Welcome to ship.
Big, giant hand lands on your head, Suna.
Oh.
And then he ruffles your hair like a pet, like an animal. Like you might do with a dog or something.
And I have to say, because I feel very different and weak and feeble, I probably for a moment think he's going to crush me. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. Perhaps could I ask you for a favor? I'm assuming he speaks giant, right? I'm not just making the wrong assumption
You can
here.
make an assumption on that, yeah.
Okay. There are some people that I met down below decks that speak giant, and I don't.
You have trouble, little one.
I've so much
I
trouble.
help you.
I'm so
They give you
small.
trouble, I
Yes.
come down.
Yes, I could. Yes.
He's okay.
Oh, they're not giving us
No,
trouble.
Even littler one.
Another hand comes over to you, Kyra, and ruffles your hair as well.
No fighting trouble. Talking trouble. I need to understand them.
Oh, no good at talk me.
Well, Well, they don't want to fight. We just need a few words. What's Molsh? I just kind of blurt out.
Molsh.
Yes.
Molsh
Does it mean
or
tower?
Molsh?
That one. The second one.
Walsh.
Walsh.
Morosh.
Walsh.
You are here with
Molsh.
Walsh.
No, what does Walsh
What does that mean?
Who says this to you?
The
No.
people downstairs.
Does it matter?
Yes.
Uh,
Somebody young or somebody old?
Somebody
someone young.
Ah, then it mean mother.
Oh, man, you were right about that.
This owl I can eat.
What?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
And I just kind of leap back. I don't look behind me. I don't know what's behind me, but I leap back.
I give you this.
He reaches back and he begins rummaging through some items that are on the deck, and he pulls out what looks like a harpoon gun, a very old-looking thing, rusted on the edge.
No.
You have this. I have a nice
No.
owl.
No. You're not eating. This is not just an owl. This is my friend.
Okay. We know it then.
No, not ever. Not when I'm here or not around. I'm never. No.
Okay.
No. Not food. Not food.
Hmm.
Can someone tell him this is not food?
It's not food, you big lumbering twat!
Come up there. I get you. You have to come down some point.
Yeah, you're not gonna catch me even if I come down. You're big, you're old, you're slow.
Do I have to worry about anyone else wanting to eat Keepy? Is this like a thing here?
Me know it. You say no, me know it.
Yeah, you maybe, but what about your pal over there? And I'll look at the reddish-skinned fellow.
Him. No, he eat plant.
Does he talk more than you?
Yes. He can read.
Oh.
He very
Yeah, elbow.
smart,
Soon
but he not that strong. He's small and weak. You are small and weak. You are small and weak.
Yeah.
I come over there, I crush you. You can try. You always try crush me like stone. You cannot even crush stone. I crush stone right now.
He reaches down, picks up a stone and throws it
my
like a bullet. It hits the other side of the ship. You hear the captain at the back say,
Do you mind, not throwing rocks again? The last time it really set us back quite a lot of time.
You shut up, old man. I eat you. No meat on ship. Bring meat to ship next time. You have meat, little one.
Thank you.
You give me meat. I keep you safe on ship.
Give you what meat?
Any
I think
meat.
they want.
What meat?
What you bring to ship?
Oh,
Well, I have jerky. Do you like salted meat?
Yes.
Well, you can have some jerky. It's in my
Give.
bag. I don't think I brought it with me.
Okay.
I can bring it back to you. Tell you what.
Yes, you bring.
Is that all right?
dealing with some rigging again.
You bring meat. I keep you safe on ship.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay. You don't go near dwarf.
Right. That's the second
Don't
time
go
I've
near
heard
the
that.
dwarf. Dwarf's a bastard.
Yeah, he very much is. He was holding up the captain when I ran into him. He's very
Oh.
dangerous. Yeah, we don't want to go anywhere near him.
Milady, milady, perhaps a word.
Hide me.
Captain says.
Oh, I hide behind. I hide behind Cairo.
I'll pretend to be like fussing with Keepy.
Is she hiding? Yes, I think she's hiding, Captain.
Does
Where
he
is she
see?
hiding then?
Do
Oh,
you
she
think he
hides.
sees me?
Hiding from me.
Well, you said
I'm
you were
not
going to
sure.
get jerky. Let's go. Let's go
Oh,
downstairs.
but what about the other Goliath?
You bring meat.
all
now.
right.
I'll go get him.
Okay.
You going downstairs?
Yes, I'll go back downstairs.
You head downstairs.
Actually, I just sit on the stairs for a minute and catch my breath.
Okay. Cairo?
I'll
I'm
wait
gonna,
for Cairo.
Hurry over to the reddish, giantish fellow.
Yeah, he's like moving stuff around. You can see him lifting one ridiculously heavy thing to the other side of the ship. He's just moving up and down the deck. You kind of intercept him at one point and he looks down.
Your hair same color as my skin.
Well, oh yeah, kinda is.
Hmm.
Hey, say, you seem busy, but, Well, there's some people downstairs that's...
He grabs one of your ponytails and lifts it up and smells it.
What do you...
Okay.
What?
I trust you.
Why?
You smell like ocean air.
Yeah, that's... I've been...
He's good.
Yes.
Ocean
he
open. Open person.
Yeah, thankfully flat today.
Your hair
Anyway.
the same color as my skin. Good omen. We will be close.
Oh.
He reaches down, puts both of his enormous hands on your face.
Are they cold? Are they dry? Are
They're
they
damp.
salty? They're damp. Nice to... I'm Cairo. I blurt out.
He stands up very straight and then kind of bows down to you. It's still kind of... He's still towering above you. They're like maybe about 8 feet. He says...
Me, Zenobio.
Zenobio. That's a nice name. Zenobio, when you have a minute, we could use some translating help.
Oh.
What?
I am sorry. You are not my type.
No, I don't. No, I don't. You don't understand.
I know you will take offense. They teach me your ways.
My cheeks just go bright red.
We can be friends.
He puts a hand on your head again. It's really heavy.
But I wasn't.
Shh, now.
A giant hand touches, your finger touches your lips.
I understand. Compared to your people, I am magnificent. And yes, I am romantic. But not for you.
Not for me.
You are not a fighter. I can
That's
tell.
a shame. I'm not. I am definitely not a fighter. I'm not a fighter.
You have bird.
Yep.
This is for food or for keep?
For what is with the owl eating? I don't. That's not where I come. We don't eat.
You say
He's
him.
my friend. He's my
He
friend.
will eat anything.
No,
keep all
he's
away
not
from him.
Gonna eat keepy.
And the old man. Keep the old man
What?
away from him.
Why?
He will eat the old man.
Okay. This is
Do not want to let
more
flesh go to
information
waste.
than I was. Can I ask a favor? It's not romantic. A favor?
Of course.
Me and my friend, we could use some help downstairs. You see, there are some people who speak Giantish, and we don't. And I've heard that you're kind of bookish, and you're
Yes,
certainly
I can read.
Chatty.
It is true.
Fellow. So if when you have time,
I
we're on
understand
the
you are
bottom
in awe.
deck. I am.
But again, I cannot accompany you below decks.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we could bring them upstairs. I'm just gonna.
I most certainly will not do that with you here.
No, I don't.
In front of the crew.
But I wasn't.
Oh, he will. He will. Don't worry. Keep pushing him. Keep badgering him.
I'm just gonna. I'll see you in a minute.
Here.
And I
Feel my arm.
probably what?
Feel it. Stronger than stone. But warm.
That is.
With a beating heart inside. You see, I can keep you safe. I am strong. But I have a heart. I have soul unlike him. If you are to choose either of us, let it be me, but know this.
Okay.
Unrequited love is your destiny.
Yeah, it seems so. Seems so. I will. I'll see you in a minute.
I like your pointy ears.
He turns around and picks up a keg. Starts moving stuff around. From above you, in Elvish, there is somebody that shouts down and says,
They don't know nothing, right? They think they know stuff, but they don't. You understand?
Yes, I mean,
Alright.
I think.
They're like trying to be like us. You know what I mean? But they're like, basically, they're just savages. They're just golems.
Yeah,
You know, we just use them to lift stuff.
That's a little rude, but he definitely got the wrong idea
No, that's all they think about. All day. Food. Fucking. Food. Fucking.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Anyway, you want to come up to the crow's nest?
I don't. Yeah, I did.
We can. All right.
Thank you.
Anytime. Day or night.
I do appreciate the offer. I'm just gonna. Yeah. And I turn and go back to Suuna.
Yeah. Suuna, you're sitting on the stairs.
Yes.
You can hear this all going on upstairs. You hear the back and forth. What are you thinking about? What are you feeling?
Oh, awful. I was expecting that word to mean anything but what it actually meant, and it really hurt me, actually. I'd like to not talk about it.
Ippo. Below decks.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Well, so that the first night we spent on our way to T-Sin, I tried to fix my gun then, because I had a bit of an issue with it.
Mm.
And if it still had problems, I'd just be tinkering with it now, sort of, but also kind of keeping an eye on Tia and Varaz and seeing what they're up to.
Do you have the ability to fix your gun?
Well, depends on what you mean by ability.
I mean the ability to fix your gun.
Well, I can mean one of two things. Like, have I fixed? Do I?
You tell me. Do you have the ability to fix your gun?
All right, yeah. Well, it's the only gun I've had, and so I've had to fix it here and there, and in various ways. Just normally it's tightening screws, or just touching up the wood a wee bit, maybe replacing a bit on it. But yeah.
All right, roll me a dice to see how well you do a job here while
Okay.
you've been on the ship, starting to look into this.
A 10.
A 10 is, I think, a partial success. You, I think what you do is you get it working, but you have the suspicion that you either need some speciality parts to really replace it. The pieces of this that broke, I think you had an issue with some part of it, some sort of firing pin, will need to be replaced, but it does seem to function for now. You're going to need to probably pay a horrible price to replace the piece. You also know that if you do use it and it breaks again, aka you roll a 1, it'll probably be permanently destroyed until you replace the part.
Right.
Which you can probably get in Daedon, a relatively decent port city.
Yeah. Well, once I've kind of made sure that part's as good as I can get it, I'll probably... I'll look over at that young Varaz fella and just... Varaz. Hello.
The two of them were kind of having a conversation of their own for a moment. It wasn't like you were interrupting necessarily, but while you've been doing your thing, they've been having a small conversation. They seem to be kind of animated. When Suuna left, there seemed to be a kind of back and forth between them, an animated conversation in their language. It quietened down a moment. The two of them look kind of tired now that they've settled down and relaxed. It seems as if maybe they've had quite a long journey, or they seem maybe a little stressed out. Maybe they haven't slept, maybe they're hungry, but there's an element to them that you recognize as just a very low level exhaustion. It's not anything necessarily to be too worried about, but you can tell that both of them look quite tired. One of them looks at you when you mention his name, and he says, hello?
Hey, that's pretty good. Hello. I point down at the picture, the one with the torn card on it.
Morsh.
Yeah, that's not happening. No.
He points to his own head and points to his comrade's head.
Yeah.
and then says, Durn esto. Dorsk. And then
Yeah.
points at you. And then points at his head again, and then points at you.
I don't know. I grab my gun and point at my gun, and then point at the drawing. And no.
He seems confused.
Yeah. If the drawing things are still there, I'll just draw on a wee bit of paper, just the card. It's not a very good drawing, so I'm not an artist, but just the card, but not torn. And I'll put that over the top of it.
The boy's eyes kind of widen a little bit. He turns to the girl and they have a brief back and forth. And then he closes his eyes, but then he points to you and opens his eyes again, then closes his eyes, and then points in the middle of his head, and then touches you on your head, and then touches the card. First, I asked.
I don't know, but there's. I take the paper, the drawing away again, and I point at it with the torn one. I shake my head. I point at me and put the not torn one on top of it, and then I nod.
They both look very confused.
I tried. You, I point to both of them. Yeah.
Let's see if they know what that means. They
Come
do.
on.
They
There we go.
one of them nods, the other one shakes the head.
Right. I'll we had a wee pot gone for the tea, so I'll get some sleepy time herbs and stuff like that and make them a tea with that.
Above you, the Kenku is watching everything and leaning over the side of the rock that he's kind of made his perch in, and he says, "Oh, you're not going to get them to say anything. They don't know what you're saying, mate."
Yeah, right, but you don't always need words to communicate, you know.
Yeah, it seems like you do.
Oh, you're right. It would be handy. It would. But we'll make do, eh? Just ideas.
What's the plan then? You're going to rob them blind?
No.
They don't look like they've got much on them, though. I think rob
No,
the
they don't.
halfling. There's an halfling over there. Look at him. He's got more stuff on him.
Well, I'm not really the Robin type, you see. I'm more of.
Ah, me neither.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm a
How
bard.
sure?
Well, what
Yeah,
I do is I go to taverns and I play songs.
And then they give you money.
That's right. Sometimes they give me a place to stay.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's good for you.
We can split it 50-50 if you want.
What?
Well, I'll creep over there, see what I can find. You creep over there, see what you can find, and then we'll divvy it up.
Wait, I don't think. Let's put a pin on it. Maybe later. Let's not do it in the first. Maybe I'll let you know the night before we dock. How about that?
Yeah, what are you doing coming from Yoskorin anyway? You ain't a gnome. You sound like that. What is that?
No,
Where's that from?
I'm at. Well, you know, I've.
You sound like you're from down the road.
No,
You're not from down the road.
No, I've been about and do things blend and mix and for many years I didn't talk to anyone. You know.
Yeah, you got many years on you. No, how old are you? 100?
No, much less than that actually. You know, it's
bloody hell.
that
You
your
look like
scoring
shit for less than
sunshine.
100.
Yeah, I'm only 60.
16? You look like that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I spent a lot of time out in the sun and
What,
out
you a
in the
human?
wilds and
You're a human, aren't you?
yeah.
Alright. I thought you were a dwarf.
No, I'm not that sure. It's the angle you're at. You're only seeing.
Yeah, well, you'd look like shit at 60 for a dwarf.
I see. So I don't look that bad, all things considered, eh?
No, you still look like shit, mate.
Hey, you're an arsehole.
That I am. You want me to play you a
Right.
song?
Aye, how about that?
Alright, I'll work on one about you then. Let's see what I've got. What's the oldest song I know?
You don't know anything about me though, do you? So
Well, I don't need to know much about you, you're old.
that's just a song about being old, then, isn't it?
Right, yeah, but if I learn a load of stuff about you, it's a waste of time, really, isn't it?
I might have a good song in me. You don't know.
Alright, I'll play the music and you sing the song.
No, I don't think so. Why don't you sing a song about yourself?
Well, I'd love to do that, but I'm not that interested, I'm afraid.
Well, you're quite interested, I'm sure.
I'll sing a song about... What about a song about the Darklands?
Sure.
Alright. In the Darklands, and he starts singing a song.
Yeah, I'm going to nip along to that halfling just real quick and just
There's a halfling
so-
with like a couple of bags, but he's kind of he's set aside from you the furthest than anyone was down here. He doesn't seem to have been interested in anything anyone was doing, but he's kind of laying on his back. He seems to be kind of snoozing at the moment.
I'll just give him a wee prod. I think it's important he knows that. You know,
Right,
as a
stop.
target. Excuse me.
Hello there.
Hi, sorry. Just thought to let you know. Apparently, you're quite a tempting target for people with sticky fingers.
Am I being robbed?
No, not by me. Just I overheard someone mention that you look like you've got nice stuff or something. So just keep an eye. You know what I mean? Sleep
Oh.
with one eye open, or even if you want, see if you're near us.
Oh,
There's a
right.
group of us down there.
Yep.
Me and an old lady, and a young girl, and then two monk folk. They'll keep it. They'll look after you.
Okay.
Just if you want
So
to.
you're not robbing me right now?
No, do I look like the Robin type or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, see,
You
that's the
won't
thing.
be
You don't
able
know
to.
what the Robin type looks like,
Oh,
so you
yes,
need to
I
be
do.
extra careful. That was
I
the point.
understand. I thought you said that. Yes, very well.
Right, just be safe. I'm just getting you a hit. I'm being friendly. Don't know if that's coming across.
Yes, well,
Right.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, we're doing that at the other end. Me and the old lady, and the two monks and the young girl. Right.
You want me to join you?
I don't want it's just if you'd feel more safe with a group of people.
Oh,
you know.
I feel perfectly safe.
Well, but I'm saying that you shouldn't necessarily feel safe.
Oh, look at this. He holds up a gemstone inside of a gold ring. Oh, you see that? The magic amulet.
But that's not going to do you any good.
Well, watch. Go ahead and try and punch me in the face.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes.
How about I go for a slap instead?
Doesn't matter to me.
All right then. Like, smack him right in the face.
You smack him right in the face. He launches, like he falls off of his bags. He rolls across. The amulet rolls
Ooh.
across the ground. Oh! How did you do that?
Right.
Well, if you're a wizard, you've got to tell me you're a wizard.
No, right. There's.
I didn't say
See, that's-
cast a spell and then...
I didn't. I just used.
Ow!
Right. See, that's the thing. That's no good.
Ow!
There's,
Am I bleeding?
No. It's just. It
No,
was
I understand
just,
I asked you to do that, but I was just trying to demonstrate the power of this
See-
amulet.
Right. See, that's the thing. It's actually. See, I overheard some of the crew speaking. It's that this just looks like normal marble, but apparently it has magic dampening effects. So no magic works on this.
Oh, for
ship right
fuck's
now.
sake.
I know they should have told us, but don't. Sorry, we're getting passage, so let's not.
Oh, is that going to
So you-
swell?
Well, no, I think it'll be alright. See, that's why I did the slap and not. If I imagine,
I
if
bit
used
my
the
lip.
fist. Yeah, you were kind of.
I bit my
should have
fucking
waited till
lip.
you stopped talking, right? So, do you want to come down with us then? I can get you some tea.
Tea? What, that's going to sting, isn't it?
Oh, see, it's probably,
This
but
fucking
you
thing
know,
always works.
yes, it doesn't work as. See, it's the magical dampening.
Alright, well, fuck this ship.
marble.
Yes, I'll come and sit with you then.
There we go.
Yeah, well,
Right,
can you take that
come down
bag?
here.
Take that bag there. Don't look inside it. Okay?
Hmm?
There's nothing value in there. It's just got my dirty underwear and things. You understand? Been on the road for a while.
Right, well, I'll be down there. You bring your bags.
Alright, I'll settle down over here.
Right, you just. I'll grab his bag for him.
Jesus. And that is where we're going to go to our break. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go to a short break here. while while Ippo cleans the blood off his hand. I'm kidding. Hand probably stings though. We'll be back in a few minutes. And after the break, we shall return for the interrogation of Mr. Bobo. Thanks so much for watching. See you in a few. Somewhere in an unknown location, very likely nearby Bellona, Bobo, you awaken with quite the headache.
Where am I?
You are naked.
Yeah, what? Oh, that's why it's cold. Hello? Where are my clothes?
It is dark in here, utterly and completely pitch black. However, you can see a little. There is a very, very small room around you. It's maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. The walls appear to just be kind of stone rock like you might find in a cave, though they seem to have been smoothed a little. There is no distinct kind of flooring or anything like that. Your arms and legs are shackled to chains which are about maybe 3 or 4 inches long and then nailed into the walls. You're not like starred out, but you are in a kind of position that leaves you kind of open. There is a distinct smell in here of copper and what can only be described as urine and feces. It smells really bad. Ahead of you, just barely through your dark vision, you can make out a doorway, a very kind of flat, square-looking, thick oaken door with reinforced steel around the edges. And that is it. There doesn't appear to be anything else in here whatsoever.
I take it I can't really move around much, can I?
Not really. You've got a couple of inches of movement.
Well, I guess I'm gonna make a lot of noise and get some attention, so I just start banging my my arms against the wall so that the chains make a lot of noise. Is anyone out there? It smells really bad down here and I'm naked. I'm cold.
There is a minute or so that passes before you hear the jangling of keys. You hear a lock unlock in the doorway, and then another, and then another, and then another, before the door opens a creak. You can see now, and it's probably quite bright, light spills in from a torch in a sconce on a pillar outside of this doorway. You can see that outside of the door there does appear to be kind of stone slabs. Like this does appear to be a hallway that isn't just, you're not just in a cave necessarily, but it's kind of hard to make out. And a figure moves in. It's the same figure that we saw pick you up from the street. This Fearbolg, relatively short for a Fearbolg, probably 5 something, but still short for a Fearbolg, relatively thin for a Fearbolg. And he no longer has the robes on. He walks in a relatively plain tunic, rolled up at the sleeves. He has 2 things. One, a kind of satchel that's wrapped under one arm, and then in the other arm he holds a pretty thick book, similar to the larger book that Reginald has been carrying around over the last week or so you've spent with him. He turns around, he closes the door behind him, he puts the key in the door, turns it halfway and leaves the keys where they are, and then turns to you. He drops the satchel to the ground and it makes a kind of metal clank as if there's a bunch of metal items in there. And he opens his book and says,
I suppose you know why you're under arrest.
No, I actually have not a clue in the world. You seem familiar.
Are we really going to go around this over and over again?
Are we talking about the time I pickpocketed some fella down the street? Is that what this is about?
I can't tell if that's an act or not at this point. You've been playing the long con.
I beg your pardon?
You know, and I know, this is nothing to do with your pickpocketing.
Well, I can't help but notice the book you carry is very much like the one Reginald has.
Yes,
Would you two happen to be friends?
I like to think we're friends.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll be happy to know we're kind of working for him right now. We're supposed to be looking for a doctor. You're
Yeah.
kind of keeping me from that, buddy.
He's kinda working for me.
What?
My name is Inquisitor Worston Redbloom.
So, was this a trap?
We wanted to see what you would do upon your
Well-
return.
Well, we were looking for him.
For who?
The doctor.
Yes, the doctor. The good doctor.
Yes. We found his office. And it doesn't seem like he's been there a while.
I don't care about the doctor.
Well, then why did Reginald send us to find this doctor?
We were hoping that you would do something. Something that gave us any clue as to why, or maybe who you are.
Well, I'm Bobo. It's nice to meet you. I'm usually a bard playing my lute on the streets. Okay, seriously, what am I being arrested for?
Drop the act, Bobo.
It's not an act.
Give me one good reason not to just walk out. Never come back.
Oh, I don't know why you think I'm putting on an act when I'm clearly exposed. I am butt naked right before you. I seriously have literally nothing to hide from you.
Let's see. You've given us no reason to believe anything other than the fact that you are or were in league with the Dragonfly crew. You're either one of them, or more likely,
What?
seemingly, as the only survivors, the ringleaders. Right? That's what I'd say.
Okay, look, listen. I think maybe you have the wrong Bobo or something. Maybe I've been with only 3 others.
Yeah. And you vanish just in time for the end of the world. And return just in time to wonder at your work. Is that it?
No?
Uh-huh. Or, what, you were misled? And now you're scrambling to understand how you ended up working for a cult?
Wait. We work for no cult. I work for no cult.
Were you tricked?
What?
Who was it? Huh? Tall-looking fellow, Triton-looking. Perhaps it was Geo?
No.
That name mean anything to you, Mr. Bobo?
Geo, no, I can't say it rings a bell.
Well, either way, it seems that you're guilty of the genocide of celestial beings and mass murder on a world scale.
What? I beg your pardon. No.
Mr. Bobo, you're possibly one of the most wanted people on the planet. One of the largest crimes ever committed. If not the largest crime ever committed. And you wonder why you're shackled to that wall.
I'd like to think I saved you all from the snow.
You saved us from the snow.
Yes.
You were the Kill Confirm team, weren't you?
What now?
You conducted some sort of ritual to whisk yourselves off to the other planes and mop up whatever the machine didn't kill. Then you come back and then you claim you were going to try and stop it. Is that right?
Look, this is gonna sound super weird, but we were chosen to participate in this race. It was like a game for the gods, and we were their amusement. And this thing became far greater than we could have ever imagined.
Yes, we have half of your account. This child's story you've spun in this scroll.
It's not no child's story, I'm telling you, it's the truth.
Well, here's what I think. I think you succeeded. I think you fucked us all. And,
Well, I can't really say we succeeded, considering, well, there's no magic now.
Yes. Perhaps you weren't planning on that.
Well, we didn't know what would happen.
I'll take the real story now, Mr. Bobo.
I don't understand why you don't think that what I'm telling you right now is not the truth.
Were you ever on the ship with the others?
The ship? No.
Did you conduct the ritual?
What ship? I remember being on a flying unicorn, sir, but no ship.
Very well. If you're not going to be forthcoming, we've run out of time.
It probably sounds like some children's book, but I'm telling you, it's the truth.
Well, I'm rather busy. There are more of you out there. Your friends and the co-conspirators. I shall get the whole story.
You're not getting a hold of them.
One way or the other.
No, you have me already, okay?
I'm going to leave this bag here.
He kicks the bag and a bunch of horrible-looking tools fall out, medieval-looking torture equipment, pliers and things.
Next time I come back, you're going to meet some of my friends.
No, hey, I will not allow you to do freaky shit to me, okay? And you come back here this instant.
Turns around, heads towards the door, unlocks it.
You may have a very influential father, Mr. Bobo, but even he can't help you here. Good day.
He turns around, opens the door. There's a light that's quite bright. He closes the door behind him. Locks 6 times. And leaves you in the dark of the dungeon.
Welp.
Anything you'd like to do?
Can I try and reach the bag of torture devices with my feet and maybe, kinda, maybe, I don't know. I doubt I could hide them, but maybe at least I can cling onto them so whoever comes in and uses these said things on me, I can at least, fight them in a way.
Yeah, roll me a dice.
Okay. 3.
3.
No.
They are so far out of your reach. Like, he didn't just leave you with a bag of tools to free yourself within reach.
No,
you can move your foot 2 or 3 inches away from the wall. At max, they're like several feet across the room by the door.
I'm screwed if...
You notice something else. You really need to pee.
Oh no, really? Are you gonna make me do this? You're gonna make me pee in front of everybody? I'm already exposed. You're gonna make me do it?
You don't have to. I can switch scenes if you'd like.
frickin', you know what? I can't hold it in. I'm gonna whiz right here. In fact, I'm gonna try and aim for the bag so that they don't want to touch it anymore.
Roll me a dice.
All right, come on. Boom! No!
No,
8.
you mostly pee down your own leg in doing so. You kind of fling yourself forward, and yeah, pee goes everywhere. Absolutely
No.
everywhere, and you get a bunch of it down your leg. It's now dripping off the bottom of
No.
your foot and your own toes.
No.
But you feel relieved.
Yeah, I do, but at the same time, I couldn't aim. Damn it. I just hope the others are okay and they're
Okay.
safe.
And we're going to switch scenes here. We're going to return to Bellona's midtown-ish with Aura. Where are you headed off to after your encounter?
I'm no longer heading to the Inquisition. So I take a minute in like a quiet alleyway to kind of get my bearings and my thoughts together. I think like the shock of everything that just happened probably starts to wash over. Like, I just fought an Inquisition person in the middle of a market. So going to Reginald doesn't seem like a safe choice. And I start thinking back onto like going through the market, like, did I steal something by accident? Like, did I grab something? Did it fall into like my bag? Like, why did he come after me? And at this point, I start worrying about if the others are okay. And I guess we have Bond, and it says you can now sense when your partners are in danger, even if you're separated. Do I get any vibes that anyone else is in danger right now?
Roll me a dice.
Okay. 15.
You get the sense that you're all in danger.
Okay.
There's probably a relatively overwhelming sense of anxiety and paranoia, maybe, that hits you as the adrenaline come down from this fight, as you kind of maybe lean against a wall in a very dim alleyway, the sword next to you kind of bloodied.
As I have these thoughts racing and thinking, oh, okay, none of us are safe. I'm like trying to wipe the blood off, but then I slowly stop. And I leave the blood on my sword and throw it over my shoulder. And I'm going to head to the Inquisition and sneak in. And I'm going to take Reginald captive is my goal. I'm going to go try to kidnap Reginald.
Okay. Yeah. So you start making your way north, using as much of a discreet pathway as you can, I assume. Are you forsaking speed for stealth?
Yeah, at this point, because I didn't kill who I don't know is named Bob, but I didn't kill Bob. I want to not put myself at risk of being in another situation like that.
Okay. Probably takes you a long time then. I think we're probably looking at maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes as you're moving extremely cautiously. I assume you're checking rooftops, you're checking every corner before you dart from one alleyway to another. It's probably difficult to get your bearings. You've never been to this city for longer than a few days, so having an understanding is crazy. It's like being dropped in the middle of New York and just being told, go to, the Statue of Liberty without any maps or anything, and you just have to figure out your way through Manhattan. But slowly but surely you head north. It's a lot easier to do than any other specific location because you know that you pretty much have to head towards the fortress, which is relatively obvious to find because it's up on a plateau towards the north. So you start moving forward, and it takes you maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes before eventually you get to the area that you recognize to be the Inquisition headquarters, a flat square of a building, a cube, grey, boring, indiscreet, just kind of hidden, hidden amongst a bunch of other relatively boring in terms of architecture buildings. Looking at the open doorway from a hidden position, there seems to be no change. There's a few steps that lead up to a large double door that leads into that open plain hallway with all those locked doors that lead to many different hallways. And you've seen into a few of them. You know there are upper floors to this place as well. You know there's a huge library at the back. For the most part, Reginald would always meet you at the door. If he didn't, somebody would come and fetch you and take you to the room that you guys were using to study from. And Reginald would mostly be there overseeing the stuff. He didn't have an office necessarily. You never saw him coming or going from the building. But as you look towards the building from your position here, you don't see him. You don't see anyone, in fact, going in or out. That's not uncommon either. You only saw a few people the entire week you were there.
Do we know, does he live in this building?
I don't think he gave you any information. And maybe now when you look back over the week, anytime you probed him for information, it would always just be kind of vague things. Oh, I live nearby, or I live in town, you know. He would say he probably mentioned that he was born here and he's from here. But I don't think he ever gave you any specifics.
So since we've been here a lot, using the library and being shuffled from room to room, can I argue that I kind of have a good idea of how the hallways are laid out and where there's shadows and dark, that I can maybe start moving about and listening for Reginald's voice?
I think you can, yes, but you also know that Reginald would unlock doors 9 times out of 10. It would often be almost all the doors appear to be private rooms that you would be taken into, and he would pull out a key for each one to unlock them. So even though you kind of have a decent layout of the main few hallways that you were using and the library which sits at the back of the main hall, you also know that there are a lot of locked doors in those areas. But yeah,
So
I'd say in terms of layout, you do know.
So I guess as I'm thinking about that, I'm wondering if that's a good plan. Have I seen Reginald use this front entrance as a way that he leaves at the end of the day, or?
I think you've seen him use it, and you've also just seen him vanish, essentially. It looks as if there are other entrances or exits.
I think my first thing to do, because I think it's the safest thing, is to lay low in a dark place by the entrance and see if he comes out.
Yeah. Roll me a dice. Damn. A triumph. I'll roll 1 dice here as well. You find a position off to the side, and it's not an excellent position to spring on somebody from, but it's a fantastic position to survey the area, and most importantly, the main entranceway. Since there is a large set of stairs that lead up, or steps that lead up to the entranceway, and then there's just kind of a flat opening to this stone entrance. You're down the steps, but you can see up and into the entranceway. There's a small kind of alcove just kind of off to one side on both sides of this building. Between this building and another set of buildings, there are bushes and just a lot of darkness and shade from the buildings around, and it's very comfortable and easy to sit here knowing you're pretty damn well covered from all angles, including above, and it gives you just a dead shot on the main entranceway here. And then you sit. Roll me a D6.
6.
Would you sit there for 6 hours?
At this point, based on the literal brutal attack that just happened to me in the street and the risk of getting lost in the labyrinth of the Inquisition and getting captured, I would wait to see if Reginald came out first before making a hasty decision to go in.
Okay. You sit for a little while. Now, I'm going to look up whether you heal your 2 points back. I don't think you do. When you rest for a short time with no enemies nearby, you regain up to the halfway point of your maximum health points. For example, if you regroup from 3 HP, you recover 2. So do you only recover up to 5? Or you regain up to the halfway point of your maximum hit points? So you don't recover any points of health.
Can I argue, like, while I'm sitting there watching, that I would use my mend skill?
Yes, you can do that.
So I'll spend 1 point just so I can get it full health.
Yeah, there's a point maybe an hour into this when you're calming down a little more on the pain that you're feeling is less something that you can actually mend. You feel like maybe you've got a cracked rib from being hit by this huge bull of a man. And you maybe do what you can to bandage it and to address it. Maybe you have something to chew on that numbs pain. But there's not a lot you can do. But in terms of mechanically, you recover the 2 HP. You have a sore rib in there. It might be bruised, it could be broken. I don't think you know. The pain doesn't really subside throughout the 6 hours, but sit you do. Back and forth, people come and go. In the entire time, nobody enters or exits the Inquisition building. There are people going into all of the buildings around it. There are plenty of people moving up and down, and for the most part you see nobles, people in fine clothing. Most of them appear to just be kind of going about what seems like a business day. Most people are brows furrowed, stressed looking, as you would imagine a government might be after the week they've had. Some people come and go that might be vendors of some sort bringing food to this area. You see a few common folk, but for the most part, everybody here appears to be kind of upper class noble types, people that you probably wouldn't have spent too much time around, based on their clothing, really, more than anything else. Nobody enters the building until one person exits the building. Probably around the 6th hour of you sitting in this uncomfortable area outside, the sun beginning to set in the doorway, and moving swiftly with a book under his arm is Inquisitor Reginald Sheridan.
So, can I deduce that, based on the time we've spent in the Inquisition building and how long I've waited here, that he might be the only person in the building?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you haven't seen anyone going in or out, but even when you were there for the whole week, you saw, like, they're like maximum different faces you saw were 5, and you never saw all 5 of them at the same time.
Okay. I see him come out, and I'm going to follow him in the shadows until we're away from the building and maybe in a more quiet place before I make my move.
Okay, roll for me.
11.
An 11. I believe that is on the cusp of a success. You accomplish what you were trying to do. You see him leave, and he moves quickly. He's doing the fast walk. His face when he came out seemed kind of stressed, I think. Under one arm is his book. Other than that, his cloak is billowing out behind him. His usual basic-looking clothing. Nothing too flashy, but it also is clean-looking underneath that. You know that Sheridan quite often has weapons on him. When dealing with you guys, he never brandished any of them, but he had several, back and forth with Ellie about daggers and swords and even guns at times. It seemed like he was kind of aware of them, and only once did he actually show you that he had a dagger on him when Ellie suggested the weight of daggers being important to one thing, and he suggested that different weights can be applied for different situations, and they were talking about this and that and the other. So you know that he is armed almost all of the time, but he doesn't seem to be quite as overly armed as Bob was when you were confronted in the street earlier on. Reginald moves quickly. He starts heading further north. He comes out of the building and moves down the main streets here, and you begin to follow him, moving stealthily but quickly because you have to, because he is surprisingly quick in amongst all of these people, just shifting in and out of groups of people. They almost don't notice him. He becomes difficult to even track as he starts to just move and dive between street to street, but you're able to keep up with him. Once or twice maybe you lose him and take a guess, and then you spot him and catch up. He takes an odd route at first out of the area that you were in. Then he stops in the middle of a crossroads at one point. He looks up, he looks down, he looks behind him. It feels for a second like he looks dead at you, and then he looks over to another side, and then he darts into an alleyway. As you push up towards that alleyway and look down the alleyway, he is gone. The alleyway is very long, and it begins to move upwards. You're also at the very northern end of the city. You're about as close to the fortress as it gets before you're in a relatively open stretch of land with only two roads that lead up the plateau, and then some large steps, and then the fortress itself. But he, in the back end of the buildings here, he moves down one of the final alleyways. You don't see him at all when he heads down it.
Well, I'm going to look down the alleyway and see if he himself has put himself in a secret hiding spot. So I'm going to I'm like going to duck down and see if his feet are anywhere, or if I can catch like a movement in a shadow or something.
Yeah, roll me a dice.
17.
17. You look down this alleyway, there doesn't seem to be any sign of him at all. You maybe poke your head around the corner discreetly a couple times, no movement, before eventually kind of committing a little more. You look down this alleyway, there's a decent enough amount of light that you can kind of make out all of the shadows. There are 2 or 3 doorways that seem to just be on the back of some of these houses. There are maybe 2 or 3 kind of old crates and kegs that just seem to have been left out to rotten wood. The end of the alleyway is too far away for him to have made it without some sort of aid in magic. You can deduce that he's not there, and that either he went up by some ridiculous feat of climbing, which would be pretty difficult. As you look up, you can't see anything, or maybe he went into one of the doorways.
I'm going to look on the ground. Is there any like sewer or anything like that?
A sewer grate? No.
Okay. Then I'm gonna not hastily. I'm still gonna be as quiet as I can, but I'm gonna go to like each of the doors and try them.
Yeah. Roll me 3 dice.
Okay. 1, 14, 13, 19.
All 3 of these doors are locked. The third door you come to, and all of them are quite near the entranceway here. The first one you gently try just to see if it will open. No luck. It doesn't even budge slightly. The second door moves but doesn't fully open. It actually opens enough that the door comes out, but you can't see through the crack. The door is just pulled outwards before it's locked on some sort of catch on the other side. The third door you try, and it is locked, but you catch a sound from behind it. There's someone in this building.
Can I tell if it's his voice or like something?
You can hear someone moving around in the room, probably not directly behind the door, but close.
Okay.
It sounds like a fervent scuffling as well.
Is it a fervent scuffling that I've heard him do before?
I don't think you know.
Okay. I'm going to look down the alleyway. And if there's nothing else that I'm seeing, I'm going to try to pick the lock.
Do you have any lock-picking tools?
No, but I have a knife.
You're trying to pick the lock with a knife.
I've seen Ellie kind of do it, so I'm going to like take, not with the knife, but like I've seen her like, so I'm going to try to
Ellie
use...
with her years of lock-picking training.
But I'm desperate, so I'm going to take my little knife out and I'm going to try to like stick the little tip inside the lock area and quietly try to unlock it.
All right, roll me a dice.
11.
An 11. It's a success. A success that you know this is not going to work. You're just kind of jamming a knife into this thing. You're moving it around before you realize that even if this lock has tumblers, which you're not sure, this knife is too large for the small, which it isn't too small, but small lock. This isn't going to work. You do it successfully in the sense that it's quiet, though. You don't make a lot of noise. The scuffling continues as you pause just for a moment. Every now and then you hear footsteps move across the room. But yeah, there's no way you're going to pick this lock with the knife.
All right. So as I'm like jamming it in there and being like, okay, this is not going to work, I put it down and I stand up and I want to use something called sneak attack. But what I'm going to do first is knock on the door and say, "Delivery!" And then I'm going to stand aside from the door and wait until whoever opens this. And I'm going to spend a point to incapacitate the person by touching one of their pressure points. They fall to the ground unconscious for 10 minutes or until they are harmed.
Okay. Roll me a dice for the deception.
The knocking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I give you the... Okay.
It's a 7.
A 7. You say delivery, and I think it sounds exactly the way that you just said delivery. And that's a 7. You say delivery, knock the door, and the scuffling stops on the other end of the door. A few moments pass, and then you hear footsteps moving towards the door. There is a jangling of keys, and then it stops. On the other side of the door, you hear... Delivery of what?
Is it Reginald?
Yes.
Okay, I immediately go like, oh god, this is him. It doesn't say. It's from the Queen. It says it's urgent.
A delivery from the Queen? For me?
Yes, is this Reginald?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I don't really know. They don't tell me much. They just make me deliver stuff.
Roll me another dice.
Okay.
17.
17. There's a jangling of keys. The door opens. But it doesn't open up. It just opens and then just swings open a little.
Okay, so like when you're at a hotel and it has like the chain, is it kind of like that situation?
Yeah, it would be like if somebody unlocked the door and then just stepped back from it. And the door kind of swings naturally open. A little. Like a few inches.
I'm still gonna be like to the side of the door. I don't see him, correct?
Correct.
Oh, sir, I need you to sign for this.
Sign for it.
Yeah, apparently it's really important. I need you to sign for it. The queen's gonna be like, did it get there? And then I'm gonna be in trouble, and then they're gonna cut my head off. And it happened to my friend Johnny, and I just need you to sign for it because there's a lot of consequences. These are important packages.
Oh, very well, yes. Do I need to bring you a pen?
Oh no, I have one.
Okay. Yes, just open the door.
No, sir, I'm not allowed inside. It's policy. I can only you have
Yes,
to.
you don't need to
out
come
here
inside
get...
to open the door. You can open the door.
Well, I don't. This is really odd. I've never had somebody not open the door for me when I do deliveries.
All right. Well, I've got nothing better to do today, so I can sit here until you open the door. You can get back to your deliveries.
Sir, I would really like for you to come out and sign this for me, please. I mean, it's an easy thing. Just open the door, come sign for it.
No response.
I'm getting antsy.
Sir, are you still there? Sir, I mean, I don't know what this is. The queen's gonna be real upset.
Do I hear any scuffling?
You hear nothing.
But I didn't hear him scuffle away.
No, you did not.
All right, then I'm going to just take a second and listen really closely to see if I can hear him breathing or hear any sort of sound at all, so I can kind of get a feel for where he might be.
You listen very closely, trying to get a feel for where he might be. Give me a dice roll.
13.
A 13 is a success. You can hear him. He's behind you. And that's where we're going to switch scenes. Back on the Ortenzia.
No, that's all right. You can stay with her there. I think we're all a little bit concerned.
We're worried. Behind her?
The
Joseph.
ship sails ahead. This very large cargo vessel. An odd kind of caravel with a very flat top. Is now out in deep ocean. Nothing but blue all around you. The sun beginning to set very clearly. Top decks, some lanterns are lit. You can hear the continual banter between a lot of the crew members. The group of you have all been below decks, I think, for a little while here when a familiar voice shouts out and says, all right, our love, which one of you's the cook?
That's me. How
It's
dare
I,
you?
dude.
All right, which one of you's that talking?
all
Which
right.
one of you's that then?
Wait,
Right,
That's
which one of
me.
you?
This one.
Come on up.
Here,
Right,
Right,
and I
well,
try to get up as quickly
hurry.
as possible.
wait, hang on here. Only this ain't a single cook.
No,
Unless-
listen, you're going to make everything way too spicy, and then everyone will have the shits for the whole ride.
All right. Well, but I know I'm not going. You're just trying to steal my secrets. I know your plan. It's fine.
I'm not.
I'll
I'm a
stay
very
here.
good. I'm a very good cook, and I offered. That's what
Yeah,
I offered to do. That's me.
Right.
It's me. Thank you.
Are you
And I'll-
going?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I take my bag with my spices and everything, and I'm just trying to quickly go, and
Yeah.
I can cook.
At the top of the stairs is Wayne, and he waves at
Oh,
you as you head.
shit.
All right. Hey, what are you cooking then? Come on.
Oh right.
I'll show you up to where we do all the cooking. I wouldn't quite call it a kitchen.
Oh okay. Thank you.
Oh, it's a right shithole, it is.
Well, okay. Well, we can maybe we can make it work.
You know, the only
Oh.
person who actually cooked something nice was Eno. But Eno's a bastard and he won't do it anymore.
Why won't he do it anymore?
I just don't think he likes it, being ordered around. He's sort of in charge.
Oh right, but it ordered around to cook food.
Yeah, he likes it when we cook it for him. Don't think he's got the palate, but he's quite good at it,
Oh, okay. Well, what did he normally cook? What does he like?
Well, when he once did it, it was, he lost a bet. The only bet I'd seen him lost.
And the wager was that he would have to cook?
Aye, he had to cook us up some meat, steaks.
That's not very much of a wager. Cooking's fun.
Aye, not for him, no.
I guess not. But what did you usually eat? What did he usually cook? What do you have?
Oh, us, we normally have potatoes.
Just potatoes?
We bring in potatoes and that most of the time. We just cook them up. One of us just takes a chance to boil them.
Is it? And that's it. You have boiled potatoes.
Yeah, I think the captain's got a secret store, though, in his room.
Well, I'm not going in there. It's fine.
Right,
I'll
nice
cook up what
stuff.
you normally have. Right.
We got
Well,
potatoes up there. We got some old oranges, but they're going a little fuzzy.
Oh, well, we definitely don't want that. Okay, well, I can make up potatoes. That's no problem. I just wasn't sure if you had anything
I
else.
don't put
Maybe
the
I could-
oranges in there, though.
Well, of course not.
Right, you
They're
don't want to be
fuzzy.
cooking that. That would be nasty.
Yeah, it would be not
Potato
nasty
what
and
tastes like an
everyone would-
orange. Might as well have an orange.
Right, Wayne, could you do me a favor and tell me if you have anything other than potatoes? Do you have any meat or anything? I could make a stew.
I
Rabbit.
don't know. Want me to go and look?
Could you check?
All right, I can go and look.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me show you the kitchen, though.
Great.
All right, it's up here. He takes you up to the
Okay.
middle deck and starts heading down towards one of those areas where the doors were closed. He pushes open one of the doors. It swings very loosely on the hinge and clacks really loudly against the back. He doesn't seem to notice, and he moves in. There's just a really simple-looking, strange stove. There's some kind of logs that look like you can burn them. There's a cauldron of sorts. There are like 3 sacks of potatoes. They look old and tough looking. You can see one kind of half a barrel which has a bunch of oranges in it, but there's only like 2 or 3 oranges and they're basically green. He looks
Okay.
around and says, "No, nothing in here, just potatoes."
Okay, that's
I think
all
we
right.
ate all of it on the way over, right? Didn't
Okay.
pick anything up on that. What's that gnomish place called?
That's great. Yoskorin, could you please pick up the...
Weird being
the-
around them, let me tell you. I spent all my time around all them big folk like the Goliaths and that. You know, I saw a storm giant once.
Really? Could
Aye,
you,
I think
could
so,
you tell
maybe,
me
or
about the storm
maybe.
giant when you
I think
pick
it
up
was
those
a
oranges?
storm giant, but
Wayne.
maybe I just saw a lightning struck a big tree.
Now, Wayne, I need to work. Can you please pick up those oranges and go take them out and bring me a bucket of water, please?
All right, yeah. What do you want? Seawater?
No. Do you have any fresh water?
Aye, we got that. Aye. You
Okay,
want some of that?
just a little bit of that. Yes, I need
How
to
much is a
boil
little
that.
bit though? Like, you want me to throw the oranges out and fill that up with lots of water? That's a lot of water.
It is a lot of water. I need quite a bit.
And also
Feed
says
the
you have to
whole crew,
reuse
right?
the water. I don't know what that means.
He wants me to reuse the water to boil. That's no problem. But I also need to wash them. They look they're filthy.
Oh, you don't need to
Can't
wash
eat
them.
this.
No, it'll be fine.
Okay, how about you
We
just
wash
let
them
me...
in seawater because there's salt in it. It says the
Oh.
salt cleans them.
Okay, well, that's wrong. So, that's
So do you want
that's
one
all right.
bucket each?
Each for what? For each potato? Are you
No,
insane?
one bucket
No.
of salt water and one bucket of clean.
Oh, sure, that'll work.
Well, it's probably
That'll
not
work.
that clean. We used it a couple times.
Okay, and could you, on your way back, tell that old man I need his help.
All right, wait, which old man?
The one who was with me, the other cook.
Oh, not old Norris.
No, the man who was right next to me, who also
No, you
said
don't
he
want
was
old
a
Norris
cook.
to cook nothing. No, he'll fall asleep halfway through it.
No, definitely
Burn
not
his beard
old Norris.
off.
His name is Toby.
Toby. All right, what's
Yes.
he down there?
Yes,
All right, I'll do that, eh? So you want one
Great.
bucket each?
one bucket each will be fine, thank
All
you.
right, and the old man?
Toby, yes.
Isn't he supposed to be helping us clean? Which one's helping us clean?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
That's
we
your
got to get on with that
problem,
and
not
all
mine.
while you're cooking. All right, I'll go do that. Then he wanders off. When he wanders off, there is a knock on the door.
Toby, is that you? Come look at the state of this kitchen. I don't know how I'm supposed to do anything in...
The
Hello?
captain pokes his head around
Oh,
the
shit.
doorway.
Oh,
Hello there, milady.
hello. Just, potatoes.
Yes, I heard you were cooking.
Yes.
Um,
Don't suppose you have anything other than potatoes.
Yes, I
I
do.
could
I've
make a
got some
stew.
meat in the bedroom.
Oh, wonderful. Well, if you'd like, you can bring it here and I can make a stew for everyone, or perhaps just for you.
Well, I don't mind if I do. He walks in and turns and closes the door behind him. A stew just for me.
No, I thought you said the meat was in your bedroom.
Well, it can be here if you'd like.
Oh, no, I meant to eat, for everyone to eat.
Oh, you want actual meat?
Yes.
Oh, my apologies. I spent too long on this sea with these
That's
vagabonds,
quite
these
right.
wretched people. They're terrible, terrible people. You don't understand. Everything they say is
have an
nastiness on the
idea.
brain. Nastiness
Yeah,
all the
that's-
time. Yes. No, it was just a silly
Right.
joke, really. I wasn't quite...
That's okay. You know what? I'll
Um,
give you. I have a book that you might quite enjoy, but now's not the time. I definitely need to cook for everyone, so your men can actually.
Yes,
run
I
the
do
ship.
have some meat, but I really don't want the crew to know that I have it. So you're going to have to bring it to me, and then I'll cook it. I'll cook it with you if you like. I have the ability to cook in my own room. I say a very nice potato, and I take a bite and throw it overboard, and then I go and eat by myself
Or-
overnight.
You could very discreetly bring me the meat, and I will cook
I'll
it for
never
you and
discreetly
say
get
that I
anything
had
past
it.
these monsters. They're terrible.
Okay, well, sure. I'll bring you your dish, and then you can cook.
Have you seen Dozzy?
Separately. Dozzy, who's that?
That's the terrible dwarf who was trying to kill me.
The one who killed. Oh yes, that one. No, I haven't seen him. I figured it
Nobody's
was probably a
seen
good
him.
idea to stay away from him.
Since he's been on board. Well, we really do need it. If you see him, please do send him up. Yes, I'd very much
Wait,
like to
isn't
read
he-
that book.
He's the navigator, right? Well, it's actually in my book here. I'm missing the third novel, but I have the first two here.
That's very interesting.
There you are.
And
Yes.
what's it about then? Nautical
Oh,
experiences, adventure?
Filthy sex. You'll like it. Should help.
Yes, very well, my lady.
Great.
I think I
Okay, I'm
am
I'm going to
picking
cook
up
now.
what you're putting down. And,
with the book.
oh yes, I
You're
can
going to read the book.
read between the lines.
Oh no, there's nothing between these lines. Just the book.
There should be more between the lines.
No more between the lines.
I would
Just
imagine.
the book. Okay.
Yes?
Thank you, Captain.
Very well.
I'm going to get to cooking now.
Yes, I'll go and take a page out of this book, see what I can learn.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Good day, Captain.
Good night. He heads out. Below decks, Hippo and Cairo.
Oh, God.
Wayne comes down and shouts, "Is there an old man down here?"
Look at Ippo.
Looking for an old man.
I don't see any old man down here.
I think he might mean you. It's just the gray.
What did you say? What did you say?
Oh, there's just the gray in your.
Well, that's from stress,
No, I
not from
I
age.
know. Just might mean.
Yep. What do you need an old man for?
Alright, our love, she can't cook. She says she needs you to do it or something.
What did I tell you? Eh?
Oh, that doesn't sound like Zuna. Just be careful.
Be careful of what?
Nothing.
Right, well, you be careful as well, and keep an eye on that halfling fella. He's... somebody smacked him earlier, so that's a bit, just keep an eye on him so it doesn't happen again. It's got a bit of a sore face.
Okay.
Right, I'll be up. We'll probably see you for food.
Sounds good.
Alright. Right, you show me the way, young man.
Alright, yeah, you're slow like an old man. That's why they call you an old
No,
man.
I had some
you know.
things to take you away.
You don't look that old, really. You just look like
Stressed.
dirty. Stressed, aye. Right, come on then, let's go and have a little look. She's down there. I've got to go get her 2 buckets of water.
Right, you
Right,
best
so you
do
go all
that.
the way down there, right?
All the way down there, right?
Yeah. Alright.
Wait, but all just that way.
Aye, straight down the end there. She needs help. Can't do it, can't cut potatoes.
See, that's the thing. She talks a lot of talk, but she doesn't walk a lot.
Aye, right, them people what don't shut up. You know?
Right.
I hate that. You're trying to get on with stuff. People don't shut up.
And I didn't mean like talk a lot. I mean, she says things.
Yeah,
that
no,
she
she's
can't
half
back
natter, didn't she? She's half natter. I got stuff to do and all.
up. Right, alright then.
Alright.
You get the bucket so she'll...
Yeah, does that gun work?
It does, yep.
Yeah, let's have a go.
No.
Yeah, let's have a go. Come on.
No.
Yeah, she can
no,
cook
sorry.
potato. Come on, we're going to have a quick shoot.
No.
Let me see if I can shoot. Where's that owl?
No. You don't want to shoot that owl.
No?
Oh, no.
What's it for?
It's for killing people.
Well, that owl.
Yeah, it's a killer owl. It's trained.
Okay, now. Alright.
Yeah, be careful. Right, anyway, you grab that water, and I'll...
Yeah, alright, I'll go
there.
get the buckets of water. Yeah, can I have a go of it later, though?
We'll see. I'll have
Alright.
a think about it.
Aye, alright. I'll take
Yeah.
that as a yes. He's walking away.
Yeah, I head down. There. Hey, Sarah, you down here?
Oh, yes, I'm over here.
Alright, hi, hello. I heard you can't cook.
Oh, I just need help washing potatoes. You can sit down there and start peeling them or whatever. Well, sit down then.
I always asked to come cook because you couldn't, so maybe you should do the washing potatoes and I'll start getting
Well, I'm
spices
also
sorted.
going to be washing potatoes.
So, what
We have
else?
to wash them before we cook them. Right, and I'm just waiting for the water. Just sit down then.
Alright, fine, I guess I'll... Potatoes. What else are we doing? Just potatoes?
That's all they have. So yes, we're just doing potatoes.
Right, but we're on a boat. Have they not been fishing at all? Catch
No,
a couple?
I guess not. I guess they don't know what they're doing in that regard.
Eh,
I mean, potatoes are good. We've got some spices and we've got some herbs. It'll probably
Yeah.
be the best potatoes that they've ever had.
Do you want to put some of the red wrapper in the captain's portion? Just his portion.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what's bothering you?
Bothering... I'm fine.
Yes, all the moping and the...
No, I was... I was doing the calculations for rifle repairs. You need to take your time and think it through. You can't act rashly or it blows up when you try and fix it. I'm alright, and it's been a long time since I've run into so many people and left home, I guess. I'm doing alright.
And did you fix it? The rifle?
Ish, Not as good at fixing things as I thought, maybe.
Well, you've always been decent at it. Fixing things, I mean.
Yeah, well, it's probably need a replacement part if if I get a misfire, I'm probably up the creek,
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to fix it.
I'll be I'll see how much a part costs, but yeah, well, yeah.
Could you hand me that peeler there?
Aye, yeah, sure, peeler. I'll just use my knife.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm just used to it, It feels. Anyway, so when was the last time you were in Alexandria?
Oh, 10 weeks ago, 11 weeks ago.
All right, so back then. All right, okay.
Yes. Well, remember, we were on the road, cosmic road somewhere from the tower for about 10 weeks. It's a long time. But before that, we were there, I think.
All right, well. Is the weather nice there? Or?
Where? In the cosmic,
Oh, no,
walkway,
Alexandria.
Oh, actually, I think it rained.
Yeah.
I can't recall. Oh no, it was snow.
Snow, right.
Could I forget that?
Well, it's been a while. Snow.
Where's that water?
I know, it's just. Well, he's probably talking to someone, that one.
Yes, he does tend to go on it quite a lot, actually. I find it a little bit tiresome. Makes me think about my own yapping mouth. I know I tend to go off, but am I like that? I'm not like that, am I?
No, you're
Downstairs,
less,
as we fade out their audio, Cairo is sitting with the young monks. Cairo, the girl has just awoken from a nap. The boy had a shorter nap, but woke up and began drawing something a long time ago, just kind of doodling stuff. Eventually, he turns around and looks left and right, realizes that it's just you there, and he smiles at you quite widely and touches you on the middle of your forehead. Remember, on his forehead is kind of crescent moon tattoo in the same position. He stares at you.
Does he hold the drawing? Do I see it? Or just the forehead touch?
He just touches you on the forehead. Drawing's on his lap. You can see he's drawn a picture of a person.
I'll smile at him and I'll point to the drawing.
As you point out, he grabs your finger and makes you touch in the middle of his head.
Do I feel anything?
You feel the forehead.
So I just kind of smile at him and like, and then I'll keep my fingers there for a moment, so that it's not like snake bitten. Like, ooh, I didn't want to touch that. And then I'll pull them back and I'll point at the drawing again and look at him and nod, like, can I see?
He turns it around to you and says, "Walsh," and pushes it out towards you. You look down, and the image is of a very young-looking Suna. She's quite young. She's got kind of a thin-looking robe, almost like a veil over her head. She's holding a pack of cards that just have nothing on them. That seems to be half-drawn. This depiction looks a lot more detailed than the sketches that he had done. She has these big earrings in. She has a completely different hairstyle, but the face is very, very much that of Sauna. He points at it. Walsh.
My eyes go wide and I want to ask how. Has he seen her like this? But I'll just nod and smile and Walsh.
He nods and he takes it back. He's not finished. He continues to draw. While Cairo recognizes it as Suuna, we would recognize it as Suuna's mother, as we met her before. Mother Numera.
Mother Numera.
And that's where we end today's.
Oh my god.
La la la. Yes, there is no Pocket with us today, unfortunately. She will be returning next week. What was Ellie up to? We may never know. Find out next time.
So
Gone. Yeah, carry on.
Katie rolled 24 times,
No.
19 successes and 3 crits.
That's
Mental.
insane.
I'm
Yeah.
so jealous.
Yeah,
I rolled like
that was
They
insanely
were
good.
so
terribly the entire time.
important too. Like that battle was
Yeah,
I know.
epic because of those
it
rolls.
was everything. Yeah,
She just kicked his
future aura
teeth in.
She has
arrived.
become
Yeah.
future Aura.
Yeah.
While Bo is
It was so
tied up
good.
naked in a dungeon,
I
not for the
did.
first time in his life. This time probably unwillingly.
Right.
Wow. I also enjoyed the classic female outlook on what it is to try and piss on something in the distance without the use of your hands. Shake it around. What do you think was going to happen? That was enjoyable. Yes. The interrogation of Bo will continue next week. Aura gets a nonny moment. I would like to just point one thing out, KPP. Sneak attack is once per round when a nearby foe attacks a creature that isn't you. You may exploit their focus. So it was...
Well, it didn't work out anyway.
It didn't.
I got
no.
so excited when I saw I had that.
And I
that
actively
missed
used
that.
it against you because I feel like Reginald would be disappointed that you didn't read it thoroughly.
I have a lot of questions, but I know we have to wait for the answer. So.
They're a sneaky bunch. That's the Inquisition have been less than forthcoming with you in terms of at least kind of everything that they've been doing. You've been being followed the entire time. I've been rolling for it. I think they give up. They give up with whatever you're doing. They were looking for you to do something that would give them any idea as to why you've done everything you've done, and then spun them half a tale that involves being whisked up by the gods into a silly race with these gods that don't exist. And now they're gonna get that information out of you some other way. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe Aura can save the day. Maybe Ellie's up to something different. Maybe Suuna and her whole new gang will arrive just in time to save the day, even though they've got a long time. Also, there's a time discrepancy because the Bellona crew are ahead in time. Everything we're witnessing is at different times. The Suuna crew are...
I felt Aura in danger.
Yeah, you're 4 days ahead, now 5. Whereas Aura's crew are 8 or 7 now, 8, if we count this evening going over. So pretty much everything we've seen in Bellona since the time jump of a week has been a few days ahead of what you guys are doing.
Right.
So yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And I'm keeping an eye on it to the best of my ability. I'm a good GM. I've definitely never lost track of those things before and then come back to it and gone, oops, what was it? And I'm also trying to keep an eye on Bun's letter to Alvin's status, which is a 4-day travel. So, yeah. It's great. I'm so good at this stuff. I have no idea what's going on, but luckily I have a wonderful cast. Let's do some shout outs so people can find where you are in the week and what you're doing and when. Let's start. We're going to go reverse order. Let's go with the entortured one. Bo.
No. Hi.
Hi, I'm Disorientation. I played Boboa for you today. I promise next week I'll aim better if given another chance to pee. Thank you so much for the amazing episode, everybody. You can find me here on Twitch and Twitter at Disorientation.
The only thing I'm missing for this upcoming set of torture weeks is the exhaustion rule in D&D.
Oh no.
It's so useful in this situation. Maybe I'll invent something in time for next week, Bo.
Ooh, okay. Fun.
What about you, Tuesday?
I just saw Mother Numera on a piece of paper pushed in front of me, which Cairo doesn't know anything about. But Tuesday's like, holy shit, Dust Veil. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm very excited just to have seen that.
The weird thing about you, and slight Dust Veil spoilers, for anyone who hasn't seen the D&D that I ran a long time ago that was set in Dust Veil about 1,000 years before this one, your character started out as a Kenku and was transformed by that wizard into a halfling. That wizard was in a very long-term relationship with Mother Numera. Do you remember those kids?
Yeah.
They were her kids.
Holy crap.
They're like half siblings to Suna. 1,000 years ago. That's fun, right?
Super fun.
So there's that whole thing, and obviously you then went on and met her as well. So she's always there, huh? She's integral. She's always been there at pivotal moments, watching and observing and avoiding particularly scrutinous eyes, including that of the Inquisition, I think. I doubt they have very much on her, and if they do, I don't think they know what they even know. Because that's her whole thing. That's literally pretty much her entire purpose. Was just this run down the outfield to score a 3-pointer with Suna. And
the mixed sports reference there.
I know everything about sports, okay, and that was a golf reference. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's how you get 3 points in golf. All right, Tuesday. Where can people find you? What are you doing?
Great.
Do you have a stream
Twitch
yet?
And Twitter. Not much for now. So just look for me here.
Can we get one? Can we just we do some sort of thing where you start a Patreon or fund some sort of just, I don't know, an office? Can we buy you an office that you drive to stream?
That's what he's saying.
How much? I'm going to look up nearby offices to where you live in less of a, because I know you're out in the middle of the woods because you're a real druid.
Fun fact, I started streaming in an office down the way from my house, which was my brother's computer shop at the time. There was a brick wall behind me, and my first couple of streams were Fallout 4, and I streamed from there for about 3 months until I got reasonable internet here, and then reasonable internet was taken from me. He no longer has that office, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're going to get you one, aren't we, chat? Time to start saving up a Let's Get Tuesday in Office fund.
Let's Get Tuesday.
Very similar to my Emma Needs a New Bungalow fund. Can you just provide us with a house, chat? Come on, there's lots of you. There's only one of us. It's unfair.
Emma needs a house, but it's the rats too.
Yeah, really, it's just that we need to get a house that's big enough to separate the rats from the demonic dog. Zakoticus, my personal demonic dog.
Hey everybody, I'm Zakoticus. I played Epotobith for you today. It was a lot of fun. Lots of fun interactions. You can find me here on Table Story on Tuesdays, where instead of playing a much older person, I play a much younger person. I play Alexander Pippin, a second-year Ravenclaw student at Hogwarts. I have a wonderful cast of friends there, so come check that out too if you haven't already. You can check it out on the YouTubes and catch up. We've done year one's done already, so you can go catch up on year one, all the shenanigans there, and then catch up and join us for the year two shenanigans, which are heating up. Things are getting exciting. You can follow me everywhere on the internet places. It's Zakoticus on all of them. I have a podcast, the Zgodcast, and next week I should be recording one with the very talented Aaron B. Black. So you can also pick up his new novel, It's out now. Firewall down, so check that out. Get it digitally or paperbacks and all those things. And also, it's my cat's birthday today, so happy birthday to Gimli.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Gimli.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Gimli the cat. Why not purchase him a nice copy of Firewall Down by Aaron Black, available now on the Kindle? That's Firewall Down. Search it and buy it, and support one of our cast members who's on our new show, Rime of the Frost Maiden, which is on Fridays at 10 p.m. UK, 5 Eastern. This is what happens when I have a day off. I can remember things.
You can remember.
PB's taking tomorrow off.
I am?
I don't know, are
You
you?
are now. Otherwise,
Oh.
it's awkward.
Well, I'm
you
taking
gonna
tomorrow
make him a
morning
lion?
off.
Do you want to take
No,
tomorrow off?
No, but I mean, I was going to take tomorrow morning off because Brad is playing one of my favorite games, Beyond Two Souls. So, yeah, I was going to watch that.
All right. And then what are you doing after that and where?
Oh, right. Shout out. I'm taking tomorrow from
You
10
need a day
to
off
11
tomorrow.
a.m. off. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, this episode was just a lot. It was a lot. There was a lot of laughter, but also I was stressed the entire time with Aura, and I got some Darkfire tournament vibes a bit from there, where I was really excited. I had to put up my standing desk and pace around because I was like, I didn't want anything to happen to her. She was alone. Then Bo gets, tortured, and I'm just like all over the place. And I think, Brad, I said this on break, but I think this was a record. You said one word and I started crying. You got me to cry with one word. So that
I wonder what word it was.
Yeah, that was a bit intense for me. So yeah, you can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry. I'm no longer here on Saturdays. Cry for Leech, but you should still go watch it. It was only 6 episodes. And then the finale for Gone is on Wednesday. And then you will see me no more, except for Sunday. Here,
No,
until
we're
that's
kicking you off
over.
here too.
I'm going to be
actually,
ending
that's
this
the
as
plan.
soon as possible to be rid of you. Like the goddamn virus you are,
Goodbye.
woman.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
good.
I will endeavor to force you to take tomorrow off then, I guess. Since you need to relax. And what if I play the entirety of Beyond Two Souls? That means you can't do
I will
anything
not
else.
stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
she can't stream.
Yeah.
Genius. Speaking of
I-
genius,
Katie. That's you.
I didn't know where that was going, so I was like, I'm gonna wait and see what happens with this. Hi, I'm Katie Peters Plays. I played Aura for you today. Today was fun. Today's a great episode. I don't know. Thank you all for I don't know what to say. Thank you all for watching. Follow me on Twitch at Katie Peters Plays, on Twitter, Play Katie Play. And I'm here for Gone, the finale on Wednesday. It's sad, but come watch that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for next week. I want to know why Reginald's breathing down my neck and how he got outside. So, how'd you get outside?
I totally thought you were gonna die against Bob too. That was stressful. That was very stressful.
Didn't know that was gonna go that way.
You were doing the traditional Aura, like I want to try to talk. I want to talk you down. I want to talk it through, and he's like trying to kill you, and I'm like, oh no, we had a grim situation here. Like
Then he tried to like bull ram her. I was like,
I was
wow.
very concerned. Yeah.
Bro
He
is
seemed unstable.
Oh, he is.
What was the clue? Him bull ramming you, or Brad being like, you get a crazed feeling about him? I was like, oh
eyes.
no.
So, these are the other members of the B team. These are the surviving members of the B team, except for Cairo. And these were NPCs that were submitted way back in the beginning
So
by
if
the
we had
original
chose-
Inquisition.
If we had picked some of
You
these
could have been
NPCs,
playing
like,
Bob.
yeah, we
Yeah.
would have been playing Bob, and one of our, it could have been Infidelia. That was like,
Yeah, you could be
Yeah,
just coming up
yeah,
against
would
one of
be-
them, or it
Oh
could have
my
been Errol Pay, or
God.
it could have been, one of the others. And yeah, so Bob was submitted by Sammy, and obviously the same with the B team. I embellished and changed and twisted it to fit stuff, and I had to flesh these characters out a lot, especially for this last bit. But really, the only thing it says for Bob is that he's an alchemist, prefers to use bombs, flamethrowers, and bombs. Not kidding, it says bombs, flamethrowers, and bombs. Doesn't really care about anything serious as long as he gets to blow shit up or burn shit down. And half his body's burnt. And
Bob.
I was like, that's Bob. And then I rolled to determine which of these Inquisitors went after which of you, at the end of the last episode and rolled for Bob to go after you. And actually it was a decent matchup for you because he uses fire. So that's good for you, even if you get hit by the stuff, which you didn't. And I kind of expected you to wipe the floor with whoever came after you, kinda. Worston was the worst possible pick because he's the team leader now. And Worston is a character that was submitted by Piranha Plant. So Worston needs to be awesome. And so that's just a little bit of meta for you there, is that Worston is not worse than anyone. He's the best. Because Piranha is a legitimate member of the Inquisition in the real world. And I can't just let his character that he submitted just be a flippant thing that was thrown away. So that's why the end of last week we saw Worston was the one that dealt with the bug and came after Bo. Bo completely unaware. Worston's not going to just fight you in the middle of the street, so he hit you with like a little and then a little dart in the butt almost. And now you are being interrogated by him, so enjoy that. It really came from rolls, and also if you want to forward any hatred, you can forward that hate mail to Piranha Plant in the chat. He is a mod though, and that's scary. The last one was Reginald Sheridan, which was submitted by Point, and I won't tell you much about them just yet. But he's a human.
Brad, what about you? Where do we find you?
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been a great stream.
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Beyond Two
Souls. Twitch.tv/BradWodo. Go.
We'll see you next week for more revelations. We're coming up to the end, but it's not over yet. Don't forget to check out all the other shows on Table Story this week, including our brand new show, Rime of the Frost Maiden. It's Dungeons and Dragons, and it's the module that came out, run by Wax Steven. The cast was awesome. They were all dressed up. It was so good. It was literally just so great.
Good.
And you can watch the first episode of that on our YouTube channel or in the VODs here if you want to catch up in time for Friday to watch the start of a whole new D&D campaign, because this one's coming to an end, so you're going to need something to watch while I prepare something else in the meantime between shows. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye! My voice is going. Bye! Bye!